Hi everybody, I am so sorry. I got the secondary screen and figured out then that I had to upload Chrome in order to be able to see the chat. So I can see the chat now when I look out this direction, so I'm able to talk back and forth with you guys. And the topic tonight is the top 3 things that are pretty darn noticeable that came into our awareness in 2012. I had a conversation with a friend earlier today. There was a lot of good points brought up in that. Just like, for example, you drop a rock into a puddle or a lake or wherever. If you're closer, excuse me, is my sound coming out okay? I might want to make sure that's rolling okay. Can you hear me? If you're closer to the rock as it ripples out, it's going to come into your awareness quicker, and then you're going to digest it, and then you're going to have a sense of what's going on. And then at different times, it ripples out further and further. Let me check something and see if I've got my secondary person. Was expecting a guest tonight, and then we couldn't get the timing down pat, and then somebody else volunteered that, well, if they didn't come, they would be a surprise guest. So, they have all the invitations and everything to come in everywhere. So if I hear them coming on in, then you will get to see who that is. But the top 3 things that have come into our awareness since 2012, and I'm talking like the top 3 big things that have come into, our awareness as a collective on like things that we're talking about, and putting information out. Now, I'm thinking like every 3 years another rock is dropped in that puddle, and then it ripples out again, and then kind of excited on what's going to happen in 2019. But these are in backwards order. So we're going to start with, that's why I wrote that down. Okay. Many people are having what they are remembering. They're either remembering or having or remembering that they have had what would be called an abduction experience. These are coming back into their memories, while others are having vivid dreams, astral projection, and these kind of a phenomena going on within them. And a lot of people have started talking about the possibilities of being related to different beings from different planets and different, things like that. That's number 3. Number 2, a large group of people are now studying and believe that the earth is flat. After, what's it been, 500 or 600 years of people thinking that, the world's round, many people are coming to the awareness and doing a lot of research into the possibility that it could be flat. Personally, I don't have a horse in that race because I don't think I can get up high enough to be able to tell. But it has been, and they're doing the research to follow up with their claims. And if they are using the scientific method and the results they're coming up with are always the same, no matter where it's being replicated, Depending, of course, on if you're in the mountains or something like that, it would be hard to determine. But in flat surface areas, it would be pretty easy to determine if you can see something that is 60 to 70 miles away at your eye level. That's something to think about. The number one thing that has come into everyone's awareness is the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect shifting into different realities, different dimensions, just like the rippling rock. Over time, the ripple will get to them. And then when it gets to them, people putting out this information for them is very, very helpful and will benefit everybody as a whole. Now, I want to share with you a clip that was so generously donated by Susso and Scarab. Their links to their channels are in the show more notes. But let me share this with you. They did a really good job. I have to say, Dan put his completely all together for me, and when I was asking permission, he put together a wonderful display, and Suso gave me permission, and I caught a good one on him too. So let's see, where did I put that? Dan and Suso, there you are. So enjoy this, guys. And make sure you let me know if you can hear it.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
Or worse, but if you're not noticing Mandela effects, I'm thinking, although with some of the replies I get, I'd be shocked. You guys are really on the right path. It's just a theory. I mean, maybe some of you get really upset because it cannot be proven to you. I could totally understand if thousands and thousands of people were playing a joke on me. It would piss me off.
Yeah.
Because you got to think that's what it is. You got to think that
it is?
Somebody drugged everybody. Somebody did an experiment on the United States and they're all nuts. That would worry me if I wasn't affected. I'd be like, well, why are all these people flipping out? I'd want to know. I mean, I'd be like, they're going to turn around and look at me and start telling me, well, in my other dimension, you were a murderer. Whoa, I don't, I'd be worried if I wasn't affected. Wow, where did I go? I'm making some pretty interesting points where I went off on this. This was totally handmade. I did not, should I say man-made, not expecting to do this. I mean, I've right from the beginning, I've heard that
all right, let me get
lower vibrational Earths were being disintegrated or destroyed or just let go. And if we're residing in those ones, our consciousness shifts into the next closest one in that vibratory dimensional, depending on where your consciousness is.
How are you doing this now?
Infinite,
Jesus Christ, what are you using?
It is it's more possible than not than everyone is in their own dimension.
That's why I like Hangouts.
But we're all shifting through these timelines. And what I'm saying is you're the only one conscious in your dimension.
Oh, you want that?
Everyone is conscious in their own dimension. Interacting with you who's not conscious because it's not your dominant consciousness. Your dominant consciousness is where you reside. And that is the only thing that matters.
Right.
We are now learning to experience multiple dimensions. So, our consciousness will be one and we will experience more than one. Now, right now, it seems to me that we're experiencing them in shifts. but something tells me we could experience them
Okay.
simultaneously,
All right.
and
I got
probably
logged in
more than
here.
one.
You know my number?
I believe that was said to me,
How did you?
actually, by Daniel Brinkley. I believe he told me he was
Oh,
experiencing
okay. 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 Oh,
7 dimensions at the same time.
all right.
And, at the time when I
Yeah.
was
No.
thinking that, I'm
No.
thinking,
No.
wow,
Gmail
one's a
email.
spiritual
All
dimension, and one's a
right.
lower body dimension, and another one here. And no, I think he was experiencing 7 different physical realities at the same time. I think that's what he meant, and I think that's what this is. And our dominant consciousness is growing, getting stronger, and we're experiencing more than one. Getting rid of the lower vibrational timelines, not so much Earth's, but the lower vibrational timelines are being shed away. Long enough rant for not supposedly doing anything. So it's just a working theory. But for me, it's all, people are like, oh, there's not other consciousnesses in the other dimensions time. I think that might be why a lot of us think people are background people or shadow people, because their consciousness is so far removed from the timeline we're in, where we just see them as background people. They might be there in their own dimension, but something else is going on completely. We can probably only interact with people that their dominant consciousness is within the vicinity.
So what does this all mean? For the past 3 years, I have been witness to many changes that are taking place. I have told you about lying signs and wonders that myself and others were experiencing. One of the 7 wonders of the world has changed. There is now 2 great pyramids, when many only remember there being one. I have told you about the changes in the sun. Many will tell you the sun looks and feels different. There have been changes in the moon. When do you remember the moon looking full for 3 straight days or lying on its side? I have told you about changes in the stars. Orion being larger in the sky that fateful night in 2016. What is happening to those of you experiencing the Mandela effect is this. God the Father is allowing you to see the signs for a reason. We are His lost sheep, and He is doing everything to call out to us, as well as call out to you. Let it be heard and known to all that at this moment you have been witness to. God is coming soon, and you are running out of time, because time is out of sync with God's law. So on that day, when time is in sync once again, I pray you have found Him, and you know your Father in heaven.
Okay. Now I have to switch over somewhere else. And the guest did make it, and I have this very odd feeling that you heard us talking. I did not mean to ruin the clip for you guys, but it was absolutely amazing, and And Dan made that one after I asked. He put that together, and with all the sky watchers and everything. That's actually come into our awareness and is being shared quite a bit now with the since the 2015. It's almost like in 3-year increments. So it's amazing. Now he's putting his dog out real quick, so that's why you've just got me talking for a moment. But I know that the secret guest, the cat's out of the bag, because, did you hear us? And just tell me. I got 10 GBK. He's always honest. Did you hear us talking back and forth? I can actually, believe it or not now, I can see the chat while I'm doing this. This is so nice. This is so nice. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm glad you came. If you missed the top 3, I'll go over them real quickly because that's, partially why Dan is here, because he's such a big part of the Mandela effect community, which many people are. Susso is a big part of that community. There are several, that are really putting the information out for people, but I couldn't list them all. But I know the ones that I watch and have a relationship, a friendship with. So those ones, they put out good information. Not all of us are going to agree on the changes, because like I said, the rock in the pond, and I think it was Dan that actually brought that up, the ripple effect and how far away from the rock drop that you are, and so it will ripple out, and at some point that wave is going to hit you, and then it's going to come into your awareness. And having these wonderful places is, it's perfect. Is the sound coming through okay? Dan has muted himself. He was doing something with his animals. Oh.
Hey,
So
what's up?
They couldn't hear us.
They couldn't?
They couldn't hear us yammering away. That's nice. Good. So you got to enjoy the
thank
video.
God.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Glad you're back.
Yeah, are we on air now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, greatness. How's everybody doing?
We've got, can you see the chat? You probably can.
I need to find it real quick. 1 second. I am looking right now. Let me see. Pulling things up. I am not prepared. I apologize.
I pushed people back so far on the timing.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, it's funny. You had me on tonight, and I'm notoriously late to everything, so.
And then it was not him.
It's sort of part of my vibe, Michelle.
Well, then you're on time.
I know. Oh yeah, I'm always on Dan time. Absolutely.
But we were talking about the rock falling in the pond.
Rock.
And the ripple effect. And if you're closer to the rock with the ripple, you get the information, and then it takes time to digest it, and then you start putting out information on it. Well, if you're farther away from the ripple, then it takes a little longer before that ripple hits you. In the meantime, you've got people putting out information, because it can be pretty scary to find out your world is upside down and inverted. I mean, it shook me to my core. But then when you hear people talking about it, it really brings a lot of peace. It really does. Like, you're not in this alone.
Yeah, it seems like that's definitely one of the main themes that's going around right now. Is that we seem to be living in an inverted world, somewhat. Well, inverted from what we remember, anyway, right?
Yeah, mine was turned inside out and upside down.
Hmm. Yeah. As one that has made a lot of claims out there, I can't say that I completely disagree with that thought. Um, there's a lot of weird stuff happening, and it's been going on for a while. And the reversal stuff and seeing things upside down. I mean, it's odd. I mean, it's not exactly upside down in a sense of flip completely, but it's just like there's a lot of stuff that's. It seems like it's a mirrored effect that seems to be taking place, and I see it in the logos. The logos is the one thing I really have focused on in the last 2 years. The
Mm-hmm.
logos, of course, is the
The
word,
word.
the
Mm-hmm.
word, and when you see the logos changing all over the place, it's just yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, how many African Pisces symbols is that?
And there's no denying. I don't know how people can still deny the lion and the lamb.
Um, yeah, that's a weird one because that one I think is a bona fide Mandela. I mean, there are certain ones that are just absolutes, right?
In your
And I think
face.
most, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean absolutes for like 90% of the population, right? The other ones, people can, have an argument about. I get it, but like that one, about 90% remember the lion and lamb, but yet
It's
only a
on
very few.
posters, and it
I
quotes
know.
Isaiah 11:6 right at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, and what's even weirder, this is where on what some of the stuff that we like to look into is is why is happening only to certain people? Why is it only certain people are the ones that are seeing the effect or feeling the effect? Let's say more. It's more so of a feeling of the effect. Like I said, about 90% see it, but only a very few are really drawn to it and feel it. And I think that's one of the big questions that most of us ask, and I think it comes down to a personal thing. I wish I could tell you that across the board, this all means this, and this for all of us, but I don't believe that. I think that the meaning of the effect is for all of us, and it's a different meaning for each one of us.
There's only I didn't put out any reminders to anybody, and who knows who's getting notified. But there's only 8 people in the room.
Oh man,
Should we
I mean,
even open up the phones for? I mean, does
well, well, if you a lot of times people are getting notifications and stuff. I don't know how many you normally getting on a live stream, Michelle.
oh usually at least somewhere around 16 to 20.
Okay. Well,
And
you're
then
halfway.
we got some calls in for the show I did with Susso,
Okay. Well,
but I didn't share this one with anyone. I mean,
right.
I didn't broadcast it, or, and I don't know if people are getting notifications.
Well, it was kind of a weird situation because you were hoping you were going to have somebody else on, and then ask me kind of today
But
if
they don't know about that.
going. Oh, okay, okay, all right.
Nobody knows
Yeah,
about
but oh, okay. Well, I'm
that.
just saying as far as you getting ready and stuff.
Well, oh yeah, yeah, and downloading that other monitor to sync in. I didn't know I had to do all that, and I was like, ah, and then I was trying to get a hold of you, like help, 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 and but I got it to work. I did, obviously.
Oh, that's cool. I see what you're doing here. Okay, so you got the little screens going on. You got your green screen on yourself there.
And
Yep.
you're in the TV, so
Right.
we're talking side by side. And now
I,
I can see the chat, but I have to stay on the screen with you. Now, when we go to taking phone calls, I can stay on that page because it's the phone number. What do you guys think? You want to take calls? And everybody in there's blue. Maybe I'm just not seeing everybody.
now let me see. Let's see what we got here. Participants. Yeah, there are only 3 participants, but 11 watching. So I'm not sure why. You know, a lot of times it has to do with people have to set their top chat to live chat.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll change that up, and yeah. I mean, it's all good. I mean, like I said, you know, you can throw out a notification on Facebook or something right now if you want.
I can't.
You can't?
I
Oh,
gotta stay here with you.
oh, you do? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I can't. I can't move. Other friends can if they want to, but you know what?
The
It
delay is the
the
best, though. I'm actually enjoying the delay because you look like a 1970s, you know, like kung fu theater flick
I
because of
do
delay. Yeah, because you're
because
moving
my
around your
mouth
lips.
is moving. I
It
see.
doesn't match your mouth. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm expecting you to like karate chop me or something right now. It's pretty great. Exactly. Yeah.
I bet you can hear me in real time, so it's really
Yeah, I
messing
can hear
with
you.
your
I
mind.
mean, yeah, it's just the audio on screen isn't the same for me. It's
You
funny.
know, it doesn't matter how many are watching. I think we should just go on with what we had scheduled, and um,
We're just
we'll open up the phone
we're
lines.
running it freestyle. So whatever you want to do, Michelle.
We'll wing it. We'll go ahead and um,
Yeah.
let me pull up the phone number
All right.
and do bingo. So now the phones are on. So if anybody wants to call, hold on. I need to mute myself in here. Mute. And go to
Uh-oh.
what?
Now I lost the audio.
I'm not in Uber conference yet. Hold on.
Hello? Okay, now I hear you.
Yeah, but you're still you got to mute in what do you call it? In Google Hangouts. Otherwise, we get the echo.
I have to mute in Hangouts?
Mute yourself in Hangouts
Okay.
because they'll hear you through
All right, so
conference.
now we're
Yeah.
on the conference.
Yes.
But when we started, you wanted to be on Hangouts.
Right. I wanted to have a conversation.
Oh Lord, we gotta have a talk. I'm
I
serious.
thought
You can't have this. This is crazy. You're doing this all the. What the hell is this? Like, okay, we got to mute over here, but then we're over. No, girl, we got to set up something easier than this.
I know.
I think we can. I think
yeah.
there's a way to do it where it can be easier. I don't know why, but I think we can find something better.
A little smoother, except for when
Yeah, I
people
think so.
call, then we can't hear them.
Well, the calls are piped, piped through the just the audio.
So are we when we're on.
I know. There's a way to do it though, but it's the way I do it. I'll tell you off air, like what's going on. We don't have to talk about it right now and discuss all these technical things.
Yeah, that'll bore them.
Yeah.
The phone number
Oh,
is up, and anybody that wants to call in and talk to Dan and I, feel free. Hero was in here earlier, but I think he was expecting for it to start on time.
oh.
My
Well, we're
bad.
not that late, are we? I mean, what time was it going to start? 10?
At 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 10 my time? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and we started at 8:30.
No worries.
So anyways, if anybody wants to call in, there's the number. It is 1720-835-5357. Enter the pin 548 54583. Also remain muted until we unmute you. If we see people unmuting before, we will disengage the call. Is because while somebody else is talking, we won't. We'll take the calls as they come in. There's no, priority or preference or anything in that regard. It's just common courtesy that you just stay muted until we unmute you. So, who is going to call? We've got Kate, Angela Screen Arts, welcome. Dead GPK. Let's see who else is in there chatting. Voynich. And oh yeah, Diva Dan is the man. That's that's Hebrew.
That's Hebrew. Yep.
That be Hebrew. He's funny.
I've got him.
And anybody and his.
I got a sound drop for Hebrew.
Oh, okay. And let's do a channel drop.
Yeah, I got a sound drop here. Hold on a second. I'll set my mic up.
Okay.
All right, check this out. Yeah, this is funny. This is for Hebrew. Whenever we call them out in the, I'm going to do some drops for people. It's my new thing now. Sound drops are the thing. So I'm trying to look for different ones for, a lot of the folks that come over to my channel. And, sometimes we kid around with them some. All right, let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so there we go. Where is it at? It is this one right here. The Hebrew intro right there. There we go. Could you hear that?
No.
You couldn't hear that?
No.
Oh no, I know why. I'm sorry, my bad. Hold on. I have to set my speakers up. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And then let's do. I can't believe you didn't hear that. Dadgummit. Here it goes. Okay.
And the masters of the universe.
There we go.
And
all right, did you get it that time?
Yes, I think everybody got to hear it that time.
That was it was the He-Man intro. I haven't completely edited it yet, but yeah, that's the one I was going to use for him.
Oh,
He-Man.
wow.
Yeah,
You're doing
He-Man.
That's really
Yeah.
sweet. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. It's really funny, and he does exaggerated personalities with parody, and it's just funny. I mean, if you want a good laugh, out of Lego superheroes and Lego.
I heard he killed me off. Is that true?
Not to let you're still in the series.
Am I?
Yeah, you're still there. So.
I haven't checked him out in a while.
Oh, you're missing out on your own character?
I'm missing out on my own character.
I was rolling after.
I had heard there was a rumor that I got killed off in season 3.
Nope.
Dang, okay.
You're still there.
Right. I'm still there.
You're still
all right,
there.
Well, maybe it was all a dream. It was like J.R. Ewing. It was just a dream.
Just a
Didn't
dream.
really happen.
Yeah, you shifted. Maybe you
shifted.
died in that episode, but you shifted over to another one. It's 4th season, so you're in this one again.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
I watched the
that's good
last
because I haven't
one,
received
and I was,
any. I need to talk to my agent because I haven't received any money from this. So
he's so talented, though. I mean, it's cute the way he's got it put together, and I was laughing through the whole thing. I mean, I saw it, the exaggeration and the humor. And if you don't laugh,
you have to be able to laugh at yourself in order. And I do. I mean, I laugh at myself more than anybody. This is like, the funny part is like, you can't really troll me because I troll myself enough. I mean, I'm just like, I know how crazy I sound. You don't have to tell me. I mean, please. Like,
you got this. It's all good.
I'm like, dude, don't worry. I'm my own worst critic. So, yeah. And the only thing is, like, I remember like season 1, he had a Lone Eagle in there. Anyway, yeah, he had him doing an Indian chant, I think.
He's got Kryptonian Prime in there.
Yeah.
And that's another channel that's really good that people should subscribe to. And I'm just gonna be dropping, just dropping them like it's hot. It was everybody needs to get to that 1,000 so they can, use their devices. And how are we going to see? This is what I find that's a big bummer about it. Is if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be missing out on somebody being able to whip out their device and go ahead and capture it right there live for us,
Right.
so we can see what's going on. That's my opinion on that, and it's kind of like tying people's hands. It's a form of censorship. So the best way to fight censorship is to bond together and take care of each other. And let's get everybody to 1,000. Then fine, if that's what they're wanting us to do. Well, okay. If we all band together,
Right.
we could do this. We can.
Well, if
we
you
can
have a
overcome
personal
anything.
computer, if you have a PC, can't you go on? Can't you do it? It's just
Yeah,
it's just
but
the
who's
app.
got their PC with them when they're walking by and an explosion just went off?
Right. No, that's kind of just wanting to shut that stuff down. Doing the live streams.
And
Yeah,
if you,
I guess you're right. You could video it though, and then upload
and
it.
I was
as
just
soon as
gonna
you got
say,
home.
you can video it, but then everybody's like, oh well, that's been photoshopped, or that. Then it causes more debate. But if you're just popping your device out and you're recording it live as it is happening, who can argue with that? You know what I mean?
No, I know. No, it's. I think that it's really sad because if you can't do that, then, like for instance, if there's any abuses in power and things like that's where I see the major problem with that. Because if you all of a sudden if you want to live stream something that's going down, like say there's a real abuse of power, could be at an event, could be at a rally, could be somewhere, things happen, you know what I'm talking about.
And you
And I'm
pull
just
it
saying,
out
like,
and you
if
live it.
hey, if you can't live it, and you can record it, sure, but there's always the off chance that maybe they start confiscating phones or something like that. Unfortunately, it probably would not happen, but still, if you could live stream it, then you have everything captured right there, and there's no doubt that
Right.
something went down.
It's already out there too. Even if they confiscate your phone, it's already on. It's out
and
there.
like, and it really is kind of silly because essentially, 1,000 subscribers. I mean, let's be real here. If you really wanted to videotape it, you really were that dead set on having it live stream, and you need 1,000. You could go to places and buy subscribers. So
Well, that's what Hebrew was saying, and
Yeah.
and that we talked about that earlier. You can also
pay to win.
for very to be safe and not have any issues with YouTube is do like what I was talking about. I've been advertising the channel to reach out to other people that wouldn't even know anything about our corner. It grows slowly, but they're real people. And what are they going to do if he jumps? But then you can't stop other people from buying.
My point is, if you
subscribers.
want to, right? My point is, if you before, like, say,
like for
before they
you on
figured
your
it out.
behalf.
let's just say before they figured it out, you got 1,000 now. You can live stream, and now you want to go out and do something stupid, like, show yourself, whatever, doing something like they did in New Zealand, right? And my point is like, it would just cost a little bit of money. I mean, if you really wanted to do it, I mean, if you're already going through the trouble, so what's the point? You're just hampering other people. This is the dumbest rule ever. This is stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. My point is, if you want to get it done, you can still get it done. It's not like, yeah, it might cost you a few extra bucks, but if you're already planning on checking out, excuse me, if you're already planning on checking out in some sort of,
Big way.
dramatic way, yeah, by, going out in a blaze of glory and a hail of hellfire bullets, then, then you can still do it. I mean, so it's not like it's really it's just stopping good people from being on live stream. It's stupid. And new channels can't get any traction anymore. Everything's, I think we talked about this off air, it's turning into CorpTube.
Yeah.
Corporate YouTube. That's what it is now. It's CorpTube.
Yeah.
Not you and me. It is corporate.
No, we're
tube.
being squeezed out. There's no you in this tube anymore.
Nah.
I mean, it had all kinds of TV stations that are they're going to be playing their shows and stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You have to pay
Right.
this premium, so it's.
Well, they're trying to compete with Netflix, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my
Because they
gosh.
realize Netflix and they're gonna have. I mean, look what Netflix has done. They got their own shows now. They've got they've got premium movies. They're increasing their revenue, and people have no problem paying it because everyone has Netflix. Is kind of a staple of social media and social television now, and I think that you know YouTube's trying to capitalize on that, and but this is the thing is they're squeezing out the content creators that made them what they were. And I'm sorry, but YouTube has always been YouTube was the best place for people with people who were thinking outside the box and have different points of view. It's always okay whether you agree with it or not. It
grew their
was,
audience.
Hey man, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to watch somebody's video. Stop being offended. Like, if you don't like what somebody says, then don't watch it. What the hell? And so that's what made YouTube. I'm sorry, it was the views in YouTube that made YouTube. And now they're going to kill it. They're going to
views, even
mark my words.
subscribers aren't. They're not all content creators. There's people that came here to view, to learn, to grow, to do. They want to see people. They didn't come here to see, prefabbed shows.
right.
They came here because it's about people talking.
They
to
want
people.
everybody to be. They want it to be a subscription thing. They want to have you sign up for a YouTube membership, and then no commercials, and then probably different tiers where you get to watch certain programming for free. And yeah, that's what they're going to do. And they want it to be more like that. Like, you jump on YouTube to watch a television show. Nobody wants to watch television shows on YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube isn't for that. Never was, and they're going to kill it. And this place is a sinking ship.
It is.
It's true.
We
It's a
will go
sinking
to
ship,
another.
people.
We'll go to another platform, and we'll take everybody with us. That. I mean, that's what'll happen, and that's people will need to. They'll leave when they're ready to leave, but when a bunch of the people that they watch regular people, are disappearing on them, they'll leave.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, people are going to leave. And I'll tell you why. Because new people will not gain traction on YouTube. And if you do get some traction, it'll only be because you're part of an internal network anyway. And then those people will get a little bit promoted. But all in all, you're not going to get really good. You're not going to get anybody that's speaking truth anymore. You're going to get a bunch of talking heads on YouTube is what you're going to get. And a bunch of people that are reading scripts. That's what you're going to get. And you know what? It's going to suck. And until we can actually go to another platform, and it might come to the point where, we're having to, like, create our own channels, create my own network. I've thought about that, creating my own broadcasting network.
Well, maybe you should get linked up with that guy that's wrote all the programming and everything. And, if a few of us all came together on that, got in on the ground floor and helped launch this, it could do wonders. And we could have our own place.
Yeah.
And be in on the ground floor. So as it grows, your investment will grow because of you're one of the first investors. Something to think about.
Yeah, I guess I need to know more about it, but it sounds like it might be great.
I'll shoot you the link on the guide, and you can look more into it, and I'll look more into it because it does. They mess with the numbers. They do all kinds of stuff. They just, they try to make it so frustrating that you run off, but I just don't pay attention anymore. I just like whatever. They did it again. Whoop, whatever.
Well, he needs to create an app. That would be the first thing I would recommend. Once he launches this thing, because that's where everybody likes the apps. Apps are easy, and nobody wants to, So if he has an independent app that's created for the phone to log on to this, that would make it easier. And I think the more people would be there, and if you start getting real content creators out there, uh, sharing their thoughts and sharing ideas, then it'll grow. And
I think
I'll
he's
tell
got
you,
all that.
once it goes, man, it'll be like wildfire. It'll be like the mass exodus of people leaving like MySpace going to Facebook. Back when that happened. I
And
mean, there was a mass exodus within like everyone was on MySpace, everyone, okay, and then like within like seriously like a month, everyone was like gone. Just once Facebook took off, it was the thing. And now everyone's leaving. I mean, Facebook is dying too. I mean,
yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
I mean, you can't.
I don't post much there.
No, you don't. You
And
just forget.
where I do post, it's in a very private place, and I've got an awesome person really helping me run that. We're keeping it small, and anything that you post there is private. It doesn't show up on your own page even, so your
Right.
own family doesn't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so private and locked down, and I've went through a couple times, then the herd. Because if you're not there for the right reasons, I'm not gonna let you stay. You know,
I mean, how can we trust a guy like Zuckerberg? Really? I mean, what an a-hole. And then
he
top of
looks like
that,
a robot. Like his eyes are all
no,
glassy.
you know what he
and
looks like? You know what he looks like, Michelle? He looks like the guy in the zombie flicks, the guy that gets bit but doesn't want to tell anybody. The guy that hides it. Like, I'm okay. But he's turning into a zombie, but you can't. He's not quite there. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Don't do this to me. He did this to me earlier, and I was laughing so hard. I felt like I did some sit-ups or something was going on. There was a good belly laugh. I was like, oh, what did you say? Was it appropriate? Is it PG? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was good though.
I don't remember my joke on that. I don't remember what we were talking about. I'll think about it. Maybe I can remember. My memory's shot. It's mush. I'm lucky to remember to tie my own shoes these days.
Don't do that. Don't fall. And
No, I'm okay. I'm just saying.
I
I
had a fall
forget
the other
stuff,
day,
so I
and it
gotta
was
write
not
stuff
fun.
down now. It's like, oh my god, because it's just like I got so much information coming at me. I always got little tabs of paper everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
Post-its. And then you're like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't. You only write like a part down. You're like, I'll remember the rest,
Yeah. I got them everywhere.
and
I
they're
got a
gone.
notepad. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody want to call in? Come on, braven up. Come
Well,
talk to us. We're friendly.
yeah. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post a link on my channel. Hold on. We'll see if we can get some people over here. Let me share the link here. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
gonna
I think
post a YouTube notification link. Let's see here. I think I know how to do this. Messages. I can message everybody.
I
All
don't know
right,
how to
here
do
we
that.
go.
You have to teach me how to do that too.
Okay.
Okay,
Hold on a
grasshopper.
second. Okay.
But this,
No problem.
for what I've learned, I think I've done a pretty good job with the dictator software and all this new stuff I'm integrating in. It's been a chore. I'll tell you what, I do like the dictator software better than typing all that out. That was exhausting.
The dictator song? Oh, you mean not like Hitler dictator, but like
No, where I
dictation software.
yes, and then
Okay.
then you take it and you copy it and then
All
you
right.
put your background image.
I thought you
and-
meant like you're learning to be a dictator. I'm like, okay, Michelle, hey, if that's your aspirations.
okay, I thought, yeah, and then you know what? When you said that, I thought you went to the other direction.
I just wanted to make sure I got it correct.
No,
It sounded funny.
I'm not a very good.
I'm like, okay. Well, no, that's what you're learning. You're learning, you're gonna, pretty soon you're gonna break out of your shell. You're gonna start running shit. You know.
I thought I was running pretty good. I had lots of hiccups, but
I kid.
no, you're being serious. But I'm still a baby. I just turned a year old. I made one video on, what was it, April 3rd of last year, because of that kid. He really ticked me off about the things he was saying. He almost had that lady lose her job. And when they asked him, you know, after everything got resolved, and he made her apologize to him, they asked him if he was okay with that and satisfied. He said no. And if anybody says anything like that to him again, expect the same thing. I was like, oh my God, what was that kid's name? I had to take it down off my channel because later on it was forbidden to even talk about this little kid. But he was like 18 years old, and now you want to talk about a dictator. Oh, I mean, how cruel can you be when she's got a family at home that needs to eat and bills to pay, that he's willing, you know, while he's still living at home under mommy and daddy's roof, to think it's okay to take away her income as a reporter because she did not say the right thing that he wanted. He's like one of those snowflake kind of kids. And
really?
They gave him a whole bunch of studio time. They gave him way too much, and it went to his head really, really quick. But that's what gave me the cojones to. I just grabbed my cell phone and I was like, rah, 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 post. And I was like, oh, I probably should have done that. I was such a good viewer. And then a bunch of people watched it. So I was like, oh, that wasn't too hard. So then I just started making a couple on my cell phone and just dropping them. And then a year later, now I'm playing with all kinds of different gizmos. You introduced me to this that we're talking on right now, this conference, Uber conference, and I find it much better than the Google conference. Much better, much clearer, plus you can have more than one call. We can have up to 5 people, and when they're in here, they can turn off the sound, still look at the visual, and hear what we're talking about and not miss anything. And that's another thing that I really liked. So, I mean, there's a lot of good softwares out there. It's just me trying to combine them all into one big ham sandwich.
Right.
Or club sandwich. You know, I got everything all stacked in there. All at the same time.
Oh, no worries. Well, I'm glad you're getting it down. And I mean, like I said, you know, you kind of helped me too. You were the one that we had talked about doing the, you know, how to do call-ins. I told you about the one I found, but then you kind of told me how you did it through your way. And then I just found some more software later on that helped me. It was a little bit better. And I gave that to you. So, you know, it's nice to share. I mean, I didn't forget what you helped me with. So, of course, I'm going to tell you what I found that allows, you know, people to come in and wait and then listen to the broadcast. And the only problem, I wish that they couldn't unmute. Like once you,
right.
Like, you know, like it's sort of weird because I've had, you know, certain people do that during the broadcast, and especially if they're new, they're not sure. They think, oh, I should unmute, you know, and it's like, oh man. So yeah, it's not that it's too bad. It's just kind of interrupting when you hear people, you're sitting there talking to a guest, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's going on? Like,
this isn't a panel here. Wait your turn.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just weird. I just wish the program's almost really solid, and I just wish that it you know, had a little extra, few little more features, you know, a few extras. But it's okay. It works fine for free, you know, free program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is free, and I love that. We can find gold if we search for it. And you know, that was wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. All right, I'm trying to send out a notification right now. Let's see here, boy, oh boy, and I thought I had it figured out, and I'm like, why isn't this thing sending out notifications? Let me see here. Still trying to do this. Nope, that's not gonna work, is it?
I think Dad can post it in My Divine Family and in whatever rooms if he wants to. I'm not going to force anybody to do anything, but this is kind of the last time I had you on here. You know, if you look at that interview, it was kind of cruddy compared to our sound quality now and everything that I've got it together
really?
much better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were one of my first ones to accept my gratitude offering. It was an offering of gratitude to all the people that, you know, I got a channel going. Would you please come on? You know, because it was out of gratitude for all that I've listened to and gleaned from your channel. Some people, and what, like when we talked about earlier, some people take things in the wrong context. They don't quite understand the intention behind it. But it wasn't in any kind of a ill form. But on that one, it was real echoey, and my sound quality wasn't that good. And when I called into your show, you motivated me to get my butt out there and get a microphone that is worth a damn.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because there was some ladies' night thing coming up or whatever, and so I got the microphone, and it's made a world of difference. A world of difference. There's no echoing anymore. My sound quality, people can hear me. But yeah, and that was, I'm thinking somewhere around June. It was a while ago, but yeah, you've inspired me to get some of the equipment. It's expensive to get this equipment. I mean, nobody does this for free.
What microphone did you get?
I already did. I didn't get a Yeti. You didn't tell me anything about a Yeti until after I already bought this one.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
I thought I told you about the Yeti. The reason I like the Yeti, it's not like it's the best quality. Well, bang for the buck, I think, is one of the better ones out there. And a lot of YouTubers use them. And it's a good starter mic. And you know what? Hey, it's nice because it has the dual channel mode. And it has a bunch of different settings and features for it for the price. It's pretty cool. And it's USB, so it's really easy. You don't have to have a you don't have to have a condenser mic where you have to actually have a box to change the analog signal into digital, and it's extra money for that. So it just makes things so much easier. You plug, you're ready to go, you have decent quality sound versus a lot of mics out there. And so yeah, it works great.
It's just hanging here on a boom. And what it was is I listened to myself on your channel, and my sound was awful. And that's what I was like, well, I can't go on his show with that kind of sound quality. So, and it was about a couple $100. But
was it? Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice mic.
Good.
But it's on a boom, and it's got all the filters, and I can change the settings on it and do all kinds of neat things with it.
You know what's hilarious is that everyone thinks that I must have this super duper audio setup, and I don't. Like, I have a Yeti mic, and the only reason I have a Yeti, by the way, the only reason I have this microphone is I just happened to walk into Best Buy one day, and I was looking around, and I was like, I wonder what kind of mics they have, on sale or anything. I wasn't really going to buy one, but I went to the Yeti mics, and I saw the box, and I saw the price tag. They had them all lined up right there for $69.
Ooh!
I'm like, $69
for a Yeti?
Yeah. And so I took the box up there, and I just quietly asked the guy, "Are these on sale?"
And then you bought them all and sold them to your friends.
He rang it up, and
$200.
he goes, "No, they're not on sale." But I said, "Well, come here and look." And I showed him. I was like, "They're all lined up right here." And the great thing was there was a guy right there, and he was looking. So I almost felt like, I didn't want him to feel like, did I move the boxes or something like that? I didn't do that. There was a guy right there. Plus, I didn't touch anything. I just grabbed the box. And somebody put him in the wrong spot. So he said, "Well, since we have them advertised for that price, I'll sell it to you right now if you want it." I'm like, "Well, I guess that's a sign. I guess I should be a Yeti kind of guy." So that's what I did. And I got a Yeti. And then I got a boom. I got the retractable boom, which was like
that's
$50.
What I got.
Yeah, it was like 50. It was a Samson one, which is better than the cheaper knockoff ones for like $10. I recommend a Samson boom because they're just really nice. You don't have to spend like $100 on a Rode or something like that. And then There's then the headphones, and I bought refurbished headphones. I got like $150 set of headphones. Like these are quality studio headphones,
Hmm?
but like they were on sale for half price. So like, all told, I mean, it's like I spent a little bit, but not crazy amount of money, to do my broadcasting. And I always thought maybe I should make a video about it. Maybe people are interested, might want me to, show what I did, show what I got. Because I think if you know how to get some deals, you can really save a lot of money. And if you feel like maybe one day doing some YouTube videos or just videos, anything where you're just, you need a good mic and stuff and a good setup, I could kind of point people in the right direction.
Yeah, I should actually. My husband, he doesn't tell me what he spends,
Hmm.
but he's been very, very supportive, and all these boxes keep coming in from Amazon. And now he built me a studio, and I actually probably should take my phone and do a video of the studio that he built me.
Oh,
It's
nice.
completely soundproof and
Built you a
everything.
studio and everything. Oh, that's great.
And the better lighting, so I don't have to worry about the filters.
Did he put the foam around you and stuff?
Yes.
The foam. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. I'm
That's
completely
awesome.
foamed in, and he knows I'm claustrophobic, so he uh, made it so that the side flaps actually can open up, or I can have them closed. So
Oh,
if I
cool.
really want to be soundproof, like if the mowers are out there or whatever, I can close them up and I'll be okay. I can continue doing what I'm doing. But if it's quiet, I can open them up and get air. There was a question for you in the chat.
Oh, was there? Okay. Let me get to the chat here. All right.
It was from Dead GPK. Ask
Oh,
Dan about.
the GPK Mandela and how he feels now. The GPK Mandela.
What is the
Well,
GPK
I don't know what the
Mandela?
G. I thought you could tell me.
I want.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's got
Am
to do
I
with his name. It could because of he's called himself that
the
forever.
GPK Mandela?
Why don't you
Okay.
just call in and tell us what your name means, and then maybe we'll know a little more.
I don't know what he's
He's
giving
laughing at
there.
us.
I think that's a smile. I think he's smile. Yeah. I
No,
don't
there's
know.
a teardrop coming off. He's laughing.
Oh man, I don't know. The GPK Mandela. Well, I'm not sure what the GPK Mandela is, so I can't really answer that one.
You're losing stream. Must sleep a bit. Love to all. You're losing the stream. We're cutting out. I'm sorry.
Oh, garbage pail kids. Oh God. Oh man.
Hey, Pre.
You're gonna bring that one up, man. Yeah. There's certain Mandelas where you've stood on the podium, and got up there on the pedestal per se, and said, "I proclaim that I
Oh,
remember certain
garbage
Mandelas." Right?
pail
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
That's
See, it's Garbage Patch Kids is what I remember them as,
uh-huh.
because they were Cabbage Patch Kids. But that may
Cabbage
be too
Patch
far.
Kids, but they were
Garbage Patch
they
is
were the
what I
opposite end
remember.
of the
But
street.
apparently, in this reality, the garbage pail. Now, I found some residue, but it's like, it ain't the kind of stuff you take to court. All right.
Hmm.
And so it's one of those memories I had for some odd reason. It's just a weird, and there's a few people, a select few that remember it like I do. But man, everyone was like, boo, boo, and I was like, oh man, come on, guys. And I don't know how many times I heard, you know, um, trash goes in a pail, cabbage is growing in a patch. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, it was just like, that was terrible. I got booed out of that, off stage for that one. But, I remember Garbage Pail Kids, not the, or I'm sorry, Garbage Patch Kids. And I thought they were making fun of the Cabbage Patch Kids.
They
That's how I
were.
remember. Yeah, but they're called Garbage Pail Kids, and I thought they were
Garbage.
Garbage Patch. So there's a name, there's a change there, and I thought, and it's funny because there was a few folks that, like I said, there was a few solid, examples, but not enough to convince people.
No.
I mean, that's the thing. It was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just a special kind of unicorn, okay?
Uh-huh.
Fine,
And
fine.
that's what's interesting is that people can remember differences, but they're not all going to be alike, and that's what's interesting. On because of that makes me wonder: were we, just like with the rock with the pebble? How close were we to this rock? I mean, and some of us have come from a distant ways and gotten closer to this rock, you know what I mean? So
Ah,
I don't know.
I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Look, seriously, if they, and this is what I kind of wonder is like, and I don't know. I'm just throwing out theories and suggestions.
No, I don't think any of us
I,
know. We
but
want
what
to
I
know.
see, well, here's what I see from this is like obviously, for whatever reason, it appears that within our scope of reality, our bubble per se, the bubble we live under, everyone has a bubble, and it appears that my bubble may be starkly different from someone else's. Like,
Hmm.
oddly enough, there are people that will proclaim they always knew it to be J.C. Penney, Penney, and I'm like, well, for me it was like PNNY, not
Hmm.
EY.
Hmm.
I'm absolutely positive it was J.C.
Hmm.
Penney. The E looks so off to me,
Hmm.
and like that's what's
It's too
so
long.
crazy. Yeah, it's too long. It's that just
It's
blows
not
me away.
even pleasantly. It's not aesthetically pleasant to look at. And
Yeah, I
that's
used to
all we
believe that.
had in Ponca when I lived in Oklahoma. That was our
Right.
big department store. Was J.C. Penney. It wasn't Penney.
Yeah. See, this is the problem you run into is because people, you know, there are people I've talked to on the other side and absolutely positively remember it one way. Especially when you have people that come to you and tell you that here's what's really weird. Now, this is where it gets almost funky and almost kind of, in a sense, you can get into the idea of being worlds being sort of maybe dualistic or something going on here. Not to mention, I don't know if this is just something that they're putting into our subconscious or what the hell is going on, but there sure has been a lot of movies about worlds or mirrored worlds or duplicate worlds. I mean, that have been going on now for the last
Doppelgangers.
20 years. It's just incredible. When you go back and you look at how many popular shows are on television with that theme, okay? So the weird thing is when people come to you and they're like, dude, I remember seeing a video of yours, but you were actually talking about it the other way, and when they
Oh.
say stuff like that, it's so weird, especially when they have freaking witnesses. And so what are you supposed to say to that? Like, you kind of step back and go, okay, what the hell is going on here? Because I had people come to me before the other day, and they were like, hey man, was like, okay, remember I don't know if you remember this Mandela effect, but the burnzomatic Mandela effect, you know what I'm talking about, Michelle? Because I know you probably, yeah, I'm sure you used a propane torch all the time, didn't you?
Yeah, sure
Yeah, yeah,
did.
you're just kind of propane
No,
torch kind of girl, aren't
actually,
you?
well, now I'm telling you, I'm not as dainty and frail as people think. I was the office manager for manufacturing, and I had to go tell the welders what to do, and I had to go tell the guys that were on the
Okay.
punch presses, and then the other ones that, what do they call those? Those other ones that you have to program in. Um, yeah, so yes, I was around a lot of
All right, so
propane
for many it was
torches.
benzomatic.
It was benzomatic.
It was benzo,
Mm.
right? And then now it's burns. And then now the
Burnzomatic. Well,
hype,
they did get a lot of burns.
yeah, the burns with benzo. And so this guy comes in and he's like, dude, guess what? It just changed back to benzomatic or burnzomatic. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's burnzomatic. It's been burnzomatic since the change. And he goes, and this person was like, no, it was benzo, or it was burnzo, then benzo, then burnzo again. Um, and I'm like,
What?
what? So I'm like, so it's like there was like a jump for this person or something. Like he was seeing it as benzo for some reason, even though we've been talking about burnzo the whole time. So it's like one of those things. Is like, are people like
Wow.
shifting in and out? Are they actually experiencing what we used to remember at various times? Like so,
Wow.
and then I'm thinking to myself, well, you've been listening to me for a while, so then it's almost kind of strange. You're sort of sitting there looking at it like, well, what the hell's going on here? My point is like, I don't necessarily think these people are making this up. There's been too many of them that have claimed that it was one way for a while, and then it changed to the new way, or the old way for them. But the old way for them is the new way for me. So it's just like so confusing at times because you're like, wait a minute, and this is the stuff that I've dealt with. And in fact, for me, like since it started, it's been Flintstones with a T, right? Flintstones, remember the Flint? Okay. I don't know what Flintstones reality you're from, but I am a Flintstones kind of guy. Okay. But
Meet the Flintstones.
right. And I made a video. No, this is the weirdest thing. I made this video saying that it's Flintstones now, and it was Flynn, and here's all the proofs, whatever. 3 months go by. This channel that was kind of new in the Mandela community about 3 years ago, dude comes out and he's like, look, it changed back to Flint. Oh my God, it's been a reversal. I'm like, what are you talking about? And this was a guy that kind of knew my channel, and like, I'm just like, what are you talking about? And all these people were proclaiming that it was Flynn for them, and now it's Flint. And I'm like, it's been Flint for 3 months. What are you talking about? And like, I wanted to wring their necks. Like, I was like so pissed because I thought, are you guys spreading confusion right now? But this is this thing. This is the Mandela effect.
Well, then
Part
how
of it
many
is the
rocks
confusion.
have been dropped in, and then, with several different ripples, then eventually they'll collide. And that could be where the confusion's coming in.
Right. Well, and,
Wow.
and I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's just weird how I think there's been even issues between me and my own staff, my guys over there at Scarabperformance. We've had discussions where I swear to God, a week ago, we were talking about the other way. And I was like, what do you mean? Like we are not always in agreement over there. Like we are our own, like hardest critics. Like on my channel, because my channel, we don't just sit there and like stroke each other and be like, oh yeah, okay, this is what I remember. Well, if we don't see something, we're like, nope, I don't know what we're just like, no, we don't see it that way or whatever. And then
Noble will put anyone in check at any time.
Well, Noble
I
sees stuff
have
that
much
I don't
respect
see.
for him.
Noble
I really
sees
do,
stuff
because
that I don't see, and I see stuff he doesn't see, and it's just the point is that we whenever we make a claim, we try to show enough proof as to why we are stating that claim, and that's what we do. It's sort of we hold each other's feet to the fire, and I think that that's important when you're anytime, because like I said, I'm only as good as the people around me, and the people around me, I don't want a bunch of people that are just like, oh Dan, whatever whatever you say is gospel. I'm like, please don't do that to me. No, hold my feet to the fire and make sure that I'm if I'm getting a little, because let's be honest, I mean, you haven't been somewhat triggered from the Mandela effect, and you're not human. I've been triggered before. I've had stuff where I was like, oh my God, you almost convince yourself that something's a Mandela effect, and then you research it and you look at it, and then you talk to your friends, and then they're like, no man, I think it was like maybe you're getting a little over, you're getting worked up here over nothing. And it's like, yeah, okay, maybe you're right. Okay, maybe I am. See, and that stops you from putting out that video that you're pulling down 2 weeks later. That stops you from making the Garbage Patch Kids video.
Night, Kate. Thank you for
You know what I
coming.
mean?
Yeah, the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah,
Garbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, I made Garbage Patch Kids video. Yeah, that
I could have
stops you.
swore that it was Garbage Patch because it was made
I
by
thought
the
it was
same.
making fun of. Yeah, I did too.
They were
That's why
made by
I was
the
like,
same company, and it was like the ones from across the street.
Well, it's
the
like-
Garbage Pail Kids or
Well-
Garbage Patch Kids. They came from that patch, and don't mess
Cabbage
with them.
Patch Kids were the reason I remember.
They were
is
sweet
'cause
and adorable.
They were sweet and adorable, and your sister had them mostly, and so because
so
so
your
as a
brother
boy,
had the
so as a
Garbage
boy, when Garbage
Patch.
Patch Kids cards came out, that was funny because you're like, finally, you got something like, well, to kind of point at your sister and go, ha ha, but like I said, they've been Garbage Pail Kids, and is it something I just because they did look like Cabbage Patch Kids, is it something I just added subconsciously. It's possible.
But no,
It's
they
possible.
had the dolls too,
I
not
did.
just playing
Yeah.
cards. They had dolls.
No. Well, no. I don't, well, did they? I don't know. In
Yes, they
regards
had
to,
dolls,
did
and
they?
you got cards inside the
Oh.
dolls too. Like
Well.
even with the
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch, you got like
Well.
a birth certificate, and you got playing 3 little collectible cards. They had the card thing going along with the dollies, and the Garbage Patch Kids. They were rough and tumble looking. They were
Yeah.
definitely a boy type of a doll to beat up your sister's Cabbage Patch. That's what it was for.
I see.
That's how
Well-
I remember it. They were
Well, I don't remember the
cigarettes
garbage-
rolled up in their sleeve. No, I'm kidding. Now they didn't do that, but they just they were different. But they were made by the same company.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
how I
well,
remember it.
I mean, maybe you're right. I'm not sure 100%. Like, I don't remember the dolls, but I remember the playing card. I remember the cards, and I thought those were freaking great. But like I said, it could have been just something I added subconsciously. But then again, there were people that had the cards, and there were some proofs, and like I said, not a lot. It's kind
maybe
of ranks up.
maybe you're
Huh?
blocking that out that your parents gave you a doll for Christmas.
I never had any dollies. No, I wasn't the doll. I was I was a Lego / Star Wars kid. Like I loved Star Wars and stuff like that. You know.
Oh,
I
me
just-
too. Oh, me
Yeah,
too. All the way.
yeah.
Star Wars fan, all the way.
Yeah.
My aunt came and pulled me out of school. I was still in grade school when that movie came out. And she pulled me out of school. My aunt was pretty young. She was in her
Right.
like mid-20s. So she was ornery. She went and pulled me out of school and took me to the movies to go see Star Wars. And I was bummed. I was like, Star Wars? I don't want to watch a bunch of stars warring. I thought it was like movie stars gonna argue with each other. I mean, that's how young I was. I came out of that theater going, "Oh my gosh, when's the next one coming out? Can we go back in and
Right.
watch it again?" I mean, yeah. I was, I loved it. I loved every single piece and part of Star Wars. I watched every episode, and I also understood why they had to start where they started, because they didn't have the technology in order to make the movies that they needed to, with the CGI and things like that. They wouldn't have turned out as good. They'd be like the Lego people on Heroes Channel.
Uh-huh.
Another channel
Yeah.
plug.
No, I actually, when I was younger, I was, let's see, I was 7, I was probably 6, right, when Star Wars came out. So I wanted to see it. Like, I was like, Dad, we're gonna see Star. Everyone's talking about Star Wars. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And back in my day, we went to the drive-in. That was the way to go. Take the whole carload for $5.
Right.
And I remember we had a blanket, and we had the old, like, you can't do that on cars these days. I think about the time we used to sit on the hood of the
Yeah,
car.
because they had those
Yeah.
outside speakers. Now you have to play it through your car radio.
Yeah. You don't get, but back in the day, remember, we used to sit on the hood, right? And just put the blanket up there on the glass, and then pillows and everything, and just lounge, man. It was great. And plus the engine kept, it was a little cool outside, and just, like you felt like a lizard on a rock. It was awesome. But yeah, I was watching the movie, and I got about halfway through it, man. I crashed. Totally fell asleep watching, and I wanted to see, like, my first go at it, I completely crashed. Like, I just got
You made
sleepy,
it way too comfortable for yourself.
I got way too comfy. Oh man, it was great, dude. It was like, I was just laying. It was all warm and everything. I was just
Next
cracked
time, sit on the floor or bring like a little reclining chair, and stay a
Yeah.
little cold so you'll stay awake.
Yeah, I had a chance to see Stars at the Drive-In, and I failed completely. I saw it
Yeah.
later that year, but it was at a movie theater, so
Yeah, that movie's
it's
amazing.
just one of those things.
I just love them all. And then and it's kind of funny that
I don't like the new ones. Ugh.
I like
Ugh.
Star Trek, but I
Okay.
never got into Star Trek the same as I did Star Wars. I
Yeah,
knew
I
all
couldn't
the
get into
names
Star
of the
Trek because
characters. I knew everything about Star Trek or Star Wars. Star
I,
Trek, not so much. I know Captain
I
Kirk and
Captain
Data
Kirk was just such a.
and the
I just
Vulcan
was like,
dude
I just
Spock.
couldn't get into Kirk, man. He was so bad the acting. He was just, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was so hokey, and
And
I was like,
their cardboard
whatever.
set, their
Yeah,
cardboard, yeah.
yeah. That it was just bad. I mean, I just couldn't do it. I mean, no offense to Trekkies, because once the Next Generation came out and those movies started coming out, those were great. Like I was all in on that for
Major
sure.
improvements.
Some Jean-Luc Picard, I'm down with that. But like, yeah, back and now Star Wars has just screwed it up. Like they're the I can't even do it anymore. It's just whatever. So absolutely horrible.
So
Like I
that
just
means I was 8
yeah.
when I saw Star Wars.
Were you okay? All
Mm-hmm.
right, all right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was still in grade school. That's right. That would be second or third grade. Yeah, I was in grade school.
huh?
If you're 8, you're in third grade, right? 5 is kindergarten. 6 is first grade. 7,
Yeah,
and then yeah.
yeah,
I was in grade school. I know she
yeah.
hijacked me from grade school, but
Okay.
they just reminded me that in the chat. Let's see, you wanted to do some shout outs? We got some new people in here. Oh, there's actually 16. Nobody wants to call? We're not on a call. We're actually taking calls. Us two are taking calls.
Well, let's see here. Yeah, I put out that notification. Let me ask. Did anybody get my notification? Preliminal. Did you get my notifications? Pushing button 62. What about you guys? I was wondering if you got that message I sent out. I don't know if that even worked, but I'm hoping it did. I finally figured out how to do it, Michelle.
Thank you, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you. But we're just talking, but the phone number's up there because when you're getting 2 for the price of 1, we're both here, and whether you want to talk to me or you want to talk to Dan, we're both here. So get your phones out and call us. We don't bite.
Well, I don't bite. I'm not sure about Michelle, but yeah.
Not intentionally. Only
Uh-huh.
sometimes people think that I bite. Well, okay. I was intentionally trying to bite on that one. Not you.
Uh-huh.
I was calling out hypocritical behavior. Is all I was trying to do. You know, if you're gonna be
I
a
see.
hypocrite, then I'll checkmate. You know what I mean? That's what it was intended for. It was never ever the other way around.
That's cool. Hey, I mean, Michelle, that's fine. I'm not here to judge.
You're not here to judge. You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. No, you're a hypocrite. No, I want you dead. What? No, Dad, I don't want you. Not in that way. I'm married. Get it? That's how.
Oh, boy.
That's what happens when things
Uh-huh.
get misconstrued. Oh my
Uh-oh,
gosh.
you got a call.
We've got a. Do you see him?
Probably. Let me see. Yes, I do.
Okay, and remember that when you come in to stay muted, okay?
Uh,
Until we unmute you. And it's 6:08. You're on live with Dan and Michelle.
Hi, Dan and Michelle.
Hi.
hey, man, what's up?
Really minimal.
Hey, Pri, what's going on, man?
Free.
Oh. Hey. I just wanted to call in. It's funny. I remember seeing Star Wars in mid 1976. But in this world, it came out in 1977.
Right.
So, I mean, I could be wrong in my memory, but I just I really remember it.
I got a weird Star Wars one for you too. Like this one
Okay.
bugs me, man. It bugs me to death. Okay, and I say in my world because my world being my memory, but my
Yeah.
world, okay, that
Right.
there was they were gonna call the second one after Star Wars. Remember that it's called Return of the Jedi, right? Well, I remember it was
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire. I'm
Second
sorry, the third one. Third one. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
the
the third
third
one.
one.
Okay.
The third one, yeah, is Return of the Jedi. But
Oh yeah.
I remember there was a mistake, and they decided to change it because
Oh.
Jedis don't revenge, so they can name it Revenge of the Jedi. But there was no memorabilia. There was no toys. There was a poster I saw once, and I always wished I'd gotten that poster because I thought, damn man, if I'd gotten that poster, it'd be worth some money right now. I remember it was at a bookstore. It was Revenge of the Jedi, and they changed it, okay, before the movie came out. But
Yeah.
the thing was, is there was none of this memorabilia. I never even saw. In fact, I looked it up years ago, and I never saw any memorabilia. And then all of a sudden now, there's memorabilia all over the place. It's very easily you can find it all over. And so I always thought that was really weird for me because in my world, like it was a change that got made pretty quick. Like they did it, they came out with the posters and stuff, and then everything stopped, and we better change the name to Return. So now it's Return of the Jedi, and now there's all this Revenge of the Jedi memorabilia, and I think that was kind of weird. So that for me is kind of
Wait.
Mandela.
Did you say now there is memorabilia?
Yeah, now there is a bunch of Revenge of the Jedi memorabilia, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is weird.
On
That
a
is weird for me.
movie that never existed, that they took
So
down
it
and
was-
changed.
I'm telling you, I know it's so weird. And I thought I didn't in my world, like if they did make it, it never got out because it got either just whatever repackaged or which would have been easy to do. You just take the package and put the toy back in there and run it through, whatever. But that was the thing. It just wasn't available, and I never saw any memorabilia out there. Now there's memorabilia all over the place for Revenge of the Jedi. And I was like really tripping out when I saw all these posters.
Are you sure it's not
And
Return of
actually-
the Jedi?
No, it is Return of the Jedi now, but I'm saying that when they
Oh
first started
my
coming up with the concept, the
God.
movie's name was Revenge, but they changed it from Revenge to Return because essentially Jedis aren't vengeful, so it didn't make sense.
No,
right?
yeah, no, they're not.
Yeah, so that's why they changed it.
They're,
Supposedly, that
they're
was the story.
peacekeepers with abilities.
Yeah, and that's what I remember. And I'm like, I used to be a crazy Star Wars fan, so I knew all this stuff. And I was looking like I just never saw it anywhere. It never made it to the shelves. But apparently, people bought this stuff for a while, and then it changed. So I'm like, no way, that's weird. So that one blows me away a little bit too.
That is
Hey.
a weird one.
Hey Dan, you want to read the comment from was it Vibrant Trash?
Okay, one second here.
The name is what threw me.
Robbie is a big fan of Michelle. Watching your videos over the past month, and I'd like to thank you both.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Vibrant. Nah, sorry, I couldn't find it here. I'm trying to get back to the page.
I couldn't get past the name. Vibrant Trash says the names that people come up with is just amazing.
That is freaking great, y'all. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. What else has been on your mind, brother? What's going on, Bree?
I know, preliminary calls.
I don't know if did you receive the mystery tree from Thailand?
Yeah, I did.
You did, okay. Now,
I got to tell
don't
you
know
though,
if
I
don't know if
yeah.
it's real. It's way too. It can't
Detailed.
be so perfectly sculpted
Can't-
for a tree to grow that. No.
What they
But it
do
looked-
is they put the fruit in the molds, and then
Right.
they colored it. And man, come on, man, the thing has a smiling
Yeah.
face, and the detail on that. It has a belly button, for goodness sakes.
I mean, when I first saw it, though, I thought, oh my,
well, I
believe
know
it. And then
there's a lot of
I
weird
thought-
stuff.
I thought
Yeah.
about it. Because there's orchids that are also so
Yeah.
unbelievable. So I
Sure.
thought maybe it was like an orchid.
Well, the orchids are funny because it's almost sort of like if you look at them from a different angle, they don't look like that. But if you look at them with a certain
Right.
angle, it's actually, they're pretty
Accurate,
naughty.
yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty naughty
Yeah.
orchids. But
Yeah.
with this, and I've seen them grow fruit. Like I've seen them do Buddhas and stuff over there. They grow
Uh-huh.
these fruit that look like Buddha, and they put them in a mold. So when the bulb is growing in, it takes the shape of whatever mold it's in. Get it? And I think that's
Yeah.
what they did with these, except they went one step
Yeah.
further and they put some coloring and detail into it. And whether it's Photoshop or
Yeah.
actual paint, I don't know. But yeah,
Well, the other
that's
thing
weird.
too is the way they hang from the branch. It looks unnatural, like they kind of.
I like how they
Something.
I like how they show the bottom, the legs grow out first. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just laughing. I'm like, get out of here. This is so funny, man. They always start this stuff.
Yeah.
And we gotta remember. I mean, like somebody sent me a picture of a butterfly, and it's like the wings had like sparkles in it, dude. And I was like, oh my god, look at that butterfly with sparkly wings. How cool. So I'm looking, and we found out that that's just a pendant. But they make everything look so real these days. It looks like a real butterfly with sparkly wings, So it's just, and a lot of stuff comes off Facebook, and Facebook is the worst for starting some sort of, because people put out a picture, and then people are sharing it and linking it, and so guess what? That wherever it came from gets plenty of like attention. I mean, it might even hit 1 million shares before people realize, oh, it's fake. There was another one of this bug. There was a bug on Facebook, dude. It was like this dude was holding this like weird looking like I don't know, like prehistoric roly poly or something, and the thing was moving, and it looked all gooey and oh my god, dude! At first,
like a troglodyte.
Yes.
Those right from the ancient.
Yes, it looked like that, and it was freaky, man. And at first, I kind of noticed something the way the legs were moving. They all sort of seem robotic, and sure enough, it's a movie prop. But it looked real, man, and I'm like thinking, I still want it because wouldn't that be great to like have one of those and just like come on, man. I mean, scare somebody with it.
Oh,
that would be
that horse, the
great.
ancient horse they just discovered from prehistoric mammal age has blood in it, and they're going to clone this ancient horse now.
What?
Did you see that?
No.
It's frozen. It was frozen. It's like it's all kind of shriveled, but it has blood in it. It's preserved, and you'll see it online.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, well, I just saw the giant donkeys. Did you see the giant donkeys?
That might have been it. Was it that?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so.
Prehistoric?
Apparently, no. They've been growing.
Super
Apparently,
old.
giant donkeys have been here forever. You just didn't know it. So I don't know. I think it's
giant.
a man animal. Yeah, dude. Like donkeys that are like 7 foot tall, dude. I'm not lying.
Right.
They're crazy tall donkeys.
Wow.
It's like, wait a minute. Where did these big old donkeys come from? Come on, man. I'm laughing. I'm like, is this Photoshop? I see. This is where we have to vet it, like, because you can make anything. Well, I mean, people are good with that stuff now. I don't know if it's real. I haven't seen a video.
The giant wolf.
Giant
Did you see
wolf.
those?
No.
Yeah, they're like, it's like a different breed of wolf suddenly exists now, and they're huge.
Oh, boy.
That's the other thing too. And I want, if I find it, I'll send it.
The animals are crazy. Yeah.
Well, what about the people that are seeing sparkles? Like, I had them on my hands, and then I thought it was maybe makeup or something, that just rubbed off.
Well,
on
you
it.
and you girls are all using the glitter makeup. It's funny. It's only girls that have sparkly hands.
Well, Kryptonian Prime. I saw his video, and that's what caught my eye on him.
Oh, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
On him having. Are you guys? I mean, okay. On a serious note,
Yeah.
do we think it's coming from things out of the sky, landing on us, or we're ingesting it and it's coming out through our skin, or
See, that you can't rule that possibility out. That's definitely something. I did have a friend who had that happen to her all the time. He was driving me nuts all the time, man. She was always like, "Look, I got sparkly hands," and I'm just like, okay.
and you got sparkly makeup on. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I
No, neither does
just
she. She doesn't either. So
okay.
it probably, I think it was from something good. Like I said, it's really weird because it looked like glitter that's in your hands and they
But it's
sparkle.
yeah, it's
And
under your
I don't
skin
know.
though, so it's
Is it
either
under the skin?
yeah, it's either coming. We're either in there's something that we're ingesting, or
Oh,
it's
God.
just, or maybe it's something that's falling from the sky that we're inhaling.
Well,
It's got to be getting into our body somehow that it is actually
well,
showing up through our skin.
um, yeah.
Now that I got you and
That's kind of
prelim, no,
creepy when you
no.
talk about that because that's like, it makes you wonder, like, I hate to say that that's the reason, but you can't rule it out, especially with what they're doing with the chemtrails and stuff,
No,
and
and I'm
people
not
with
trying to be
Morgellons.
negative about it or scare anybody if this is happening
Well,
because it
no,
doesn't
but
hurt. I mean, there's no
well,
pain or nothing. It's just odd. It scared me
yeah.
when I saw it.
Well,
When we went outside to go swimming, and
mhm.
we were heading into the pool, and my husband said, "Oh my gosh, look at your hands." And then I looked at my hands, and the sunlight, it was like all these like sparkles, and I flipped my hands over, and it was doing the same thing. I was like, I got to get this on camera. So I grabbed my phone, and I tried, but I couldn't get it to show up. So I had to do it under false lighting and magnify in my phone as much as I could to get them to show up. But then we went swimming for a couple hours. My hands were all pruny. You know how it goes when you go swimming or hot tub for a while. And I'm like, well, let's just see. And as they deprune, it should be gone. If it was something that was on my skin, it should be gone. And he's like, they're back. Nope, they're not gone. As soon as my fingers and hands started smoothing back out, it just started doing it again. So I'm not sure what's
No,
causing
man,
it.
your husband shouldn't. If I was your husband, I'd be like, girl, don't be putting those sparkle hands on me. Mm-mm. You better go wash that
You know what
off.
it made me think of? It would be like a
Better not be giving me your
vegetarian.
sparkle cooties.
The vampire movie where they're all sparkly, but
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like that's
but
not
they
good.
don't.
You don't want to
They're the
sparkle yourself.
vegetarian
Uh-huh.
side of it because they won't kill. They won't feed from humans. They
Yeah, right. Well, next thing you know, you're gonna start like going, blood.
no, not much.
No.
But I do like my fruits and vegetables more. But I still eat. If I want it, I eat it, and I've lost over 70 pounds in a year and a half. I don't know,
Wow.
without depriving myself. My doctor
That's really
said
good.
I'm having heart problems, and I was in there, and he said for my height, this is what my weight should be, and it
Right.
started just dropping off, and it's still dropping off at like 1 or 2
Oh.
pounds a month. But here's the boogerboo, okay? I met the goal of where I should have been. Then
Mhm.
he measured me, and I was a freaking inch shorter. So that made me overweight again. I was
So you're an
like,
inch shorter. So you lost like, what'd you lose? Like just a bunch of. Damn. I mean, how much fat did you have on your feet?
I know.
Goodness gracious.
Fat feet.
Did I ever tell you?
Stop it, Dan.
Sorry. I ask questions. It's what I do. I'm just curious.
Okay. Oh, right now I've got a fat foot.
When I
Right. What's up, preliminary? Sorry, man. Go ahead, dude.
He had to do
No.
that.
No, when I first woke up from when I was still in the hospital, I was online and I was looking at stuff but right when I got out, one of the first people I was talking to was my sister. She looked different, and this was right after I just didn't really know. There wasn't like the word Mandela effect. I just saw the weird change to China and the map.
I'm gonna have him measure me again now that I broke
Oscar
my foot.
Mayer and some of the early videos at
That'd
that
be
time
right
in
way.
March 2016. But my sister looked suddenly overweight,
Mhm.
and I had just seen her before I went into the hospital, and she looked like a different person. I mean, her face was the same, but just like 50 pounds, just within a week. And she was never like a big eater or. So That was a Mandela, personal Mandela effect for me. It was my sister's sudden weight gain.
Sudden weight gain.
Before, from
Huh.
before it went in to right after. That's when I started seeing all the effects in that month, and it just picked up. And at first I was skeptical. I thought, no, this is too weird. And then more videos and more people were reporting about all the product changes and
Right.
the old Bible changes.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Have you seen someone you've known for a long time in that time, like when you first started seeing the change? Was there someone you knew that just suddenly looked a little bit different?
I'll tell you what made him look different is their personality change. There was a guy I knew. He was
Yeah.
always kind of he's sort of a friend. I would say he was a friend, but I mean, like, it's one of these dudes that just I met, working on cars, right? And he had a particular, he had a 350Z, and I used to go over there and help him out. But he was always kind of like, he wasn't really like very, how you want to say, gracious or, very accepting of, just, letting people know that, he was happy that he worked on his car. He was just kind of like, just whatever. There's he almost kind of had one of those very pompous type of attitudes. And I remember, I'd still go and help him though. I'd still go and help him, even though I knew that I was going to go over there. He didn't really act like he appreciated it much. He didn't act like I was going out of my way. I mean, he just sort of was like, whatever. That's, But I went over there and I worked on his car. And I remember it was after Mandela. I hadn't seen him since the Mandela effect. And I remember he was just like a different guy. He was a different guy. I mean, he was like so thankful and so appreciative of what I did. And like, and just thanks for coming over. Thanks for, man, you really helped me. And I mean, like, I just never, that wasn't his way. I'm sorry. Before he was almost like, all right, well, thanks, man. See you later. Get out of here, kind of thing. But I say that like,
so he became, so he kind of went from this kind of cranky guy to this appreciative, more
appreciative, and more, like more, I don't know, like easier to talk to, like more like, I could kind of, understand him a little bit better, because before he kind of seemed closed off and didn't really, he didn't know how I don't know, he just seemed like there was some issues there or something. And now when I saw him again, I mean, he was like a night and day. Like his personality was so like starkly different from before. And I almost drew it up like, wow, dude, is this like a Mandela thing? Like, and I mean, I don't know, but like it only been like maybe about, what's that?
Still at the early, I was still at the early, like when we were still just trying to recognize everything that was changing.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that with a few people, and I saw some bad come out in people too. I saw bad. I saw people that were, at one time, they were very laid back, very chill, very, understanding, everything, nothing really fazed them, to where they were really high strung and stressed and, sort of jerks. And it was like, wow, man. And, I think you can say that for a lot of us. Like, I've changed since the Mandela effect. I've changed because I'm not doing things I used to do, and I'm not so materialistic, and, I've made, changes in my own, in myself, in which has changed my personality,
It seems to have a purpose in that way, it's kind of like a kind of a jolt to make people sort of, reconsider just how they're looking at life and what they're doing, and that reality.
I hope so.
Because repetition kind of makes the mind, like sort of take things for granted, and things just always being kind of and then suddenly this crazy change, and you're thinking all different kinds, and then you're praying and you're studying and just asking, seeking truth and seeking God's will.
Yeah, and that's what I try to convey to everybody, is like, take this opportunity to see the changes and ask yourself, what does it mean to you? What does this really mean to you? I mean, what are the changes? You know, because for me, it was looking more into the world as a spiritual place versus a material place. And I think that's what's the biggest change for me. But everyone has their own walk. So what I consider important is it may not be important. Maybe you were already less materialistic, so maybe there's something in there for you, and that's what I believe that is true. I think that's what this is all about, man. This is an individual thing. Although we come together and talk about it, it's all about your personal walk and you know, getting back on the path toward God. That's what it's about, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think for me, it's made me less ego, like, because I was just always into my art trip and my kind of escape, and I was always just kind of an escape person. I always loved fiction and dreaming, and I wasn't interested in all the reality and politics and all the worlds. I mean, I was interested in spiritual things, but I was just living for the future, except in a kind of self-trip way, rather than it's about others and what you can do to help people, or at least by principle, and trying to see, what can I do with my art in a way that would be more helpful, so instead of in a kind of,
Do you feel like this has made you a better artist?
It's kind of actually made me. I haven't really been doing as much art, and because I'm kind of reconsidering everything about my art, and I'm looking at it, and all my old art is starting to just look really distorted and kind of like.
You should try. You really should try something. Why don't you try something new, man? Come on.
Right, that's what I'm
Dude,
thinking.
what is going on?
Thinking, I gotta.
Yeah, you should try something new with your new outlook on things. I bet you'd probably be amazed at what you can create. I bet it would be awesome.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. And maybe, do you guys have any other comments on home?
No, what I was going to say is that what we do is we get our own house. We get our house in order first, and then when you get your own house in order, then we're capable of helping others. But if we don't have our own house in order, then the help that we're giving to others is not. It's not good. It's not. It's not being helpful because you're not in a position of taking care of yourself yet. So and we all go through that period of isolation where you get to know yourself, and then you used your art to express yourself, and in that solitude you find yourself, and then it branches out, and then it expands out to the people around you, and it's not that you've made any big change, but you actually have made a big change, but you won't feel it. It'll become the new natural you, and it's really amazing. The whole package of all of this that's going on is just amazing. And people, the way that they're waking up and treating others, and the discernment that's kicking in, the intuition, the effects that we're seeing. There's a bigger picture going on here in the background, and it's the people that I see that are affected are more kinder, more gentler, easier to get along with. You can make up with them easier. Now, there's times where we get confused because we don't quite understand what's going on. But once that confusion part starts to fall away and we start to understand who we are on the inside, then everything else kind of just falls in place. Sometimes I think we make it harder on ourselves than it necessarily needs to be.
That's a great way to put it, and I agree. Especially getting one's house in order to really help others, and I hope that I have improved in ways. It's ongoing thing.
We're all on this journey together.
Yeah, but yeah, I do feel motivated in approaching my art with just an entirely different approach and with more of a harmony to it, a higher vibration. Because it is it's just all, when I look at it, I don't want to be too critical because I'm already too critical, but I, like in the 80s, I had a breakdown after a breakup with a girlfriend, and I like threw away all of my art, and I was really it was a really hard time. This was like 1985, and I just, oh, I wish I never did that. I wish I saved all that art.
That's sad.
Did
Yeah.
you throw it away, or did
was-
they
it was-
throw it away?
I was in such a torment
Oh.
I didn't see it coming. I felt like I was run over, and I was in trauma, and I just, those self-destructive feelings are from, that's all from darkness, and I just, and I was in the hospital for 5 days, and then if a person attempts to take their life, they'll put you in the mental ward for a while after the hospital. And that was a horrible year for me.
And where do you
Yeah.
stand now?
What's that?
Where do you stand now? Are you in a much better place in your mind? In
Oh
your heart?
yeah.
That's
By
good,
1980, let's see, 1992 is when I really felt much better.
Awesome.
I was part of the old early new wave nightclub scene, playing drums in a band, and it was just non-stop party all through the 80s, and then I just pulled out of that finally by 1992. And
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Dan, about
uh,
alcohol and partying changes people's
Yeah.
perspectives on things.
Mhm.
it's like watching when a person is drunk, it's like they're retarded in a way.
Yeah, they're seeing
You
everything
take on,
backwards.
You take on, people use it loosely, but it's like spirits or demons or
They call it that
whatever.
for a reason.
Yeah, and I feel like that
And
does.
was
Yeah, I think that we do, and I think what happens is, like, in a sense, is we start to like that. We start to really get comfortable with that demon inside of us, and then the alcohol brings it out, and then we become that person more so than we are. Like, I remember there was a time when I was growing up, like, I really couldn't become an alcoholic because alcohol in me, it was like more like, I felt like I must have an addiction to it, or not addiction, but I was allergic to it or something, because I know that I had a bad reaction. Like my hangovers were just god awful, man. Like, I mean, really bad hangovers, and it really kept me from drinking too much. But I did try. Okay, I tried to become an alcoholic. I really did. And the thing is that for a while, I almost felt like I felt more like myself when I was drunk, like when I was buzzing a little bit, or whatever. I felt more at home,
More
like, I didn't
emboldened.
feel comfortable, feeling normal. Now that's not a good place to be, and I often think if people don't really know or look at themselves in that manner and say to themselves, is it I don't feel comfortable, and you almost have to sort of psychologically evaluate yourself, and wonder, is it something that I'm doing to myself because of the nature of who I think I am when I'm drunk, or when I'm buzzing or something like that. I felt more, I just felt like I was, it was easier for me to, talk to people. I felt more social.
Yes.
I felt more
Right.
like, I felt more attractive. I felt more,
Like
all these
Superman.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. And then, you don't
right.
realize
You're
it.
social, and you're just maybe you're trying to find a girlfriend or something, and
Sure.
like without the alcohol, you would just not be half as talkative.
Well, and that's the thing too, is you're basing a relationship off alcohol, and like that's not a good way to really, I'm sorry, but a lot of those relationships did not last. They do
Right.
not last. I'm
No.
sorry. It's
No,
not,
that all of those people I knew, when I think about it, it was like nobody really knew each other. They only knew each other when they were drinking,
Yeah.
and it kind of brought out a strong delusion.
You know, you'd think
Yeah.
if you just video it, video yourself sober and then video yourself drunk, that you would see it right there in front of you and know that the alcohol is causing the issue. But some people can do videos intoxicated and not see what other people can obviously see. It's a whole different personality that comes out of somebody when they're drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was married to an alcoholic, man, so I know what it's like. And she was violent,
Oh.
And she, she was verbally abusive and everything, and the thing is like, she doesn't remember it. Like, she doesn't know that demon the way I know it. And, it sucks because, we go somewhere, right? And I, and of course, this is what I caught from all of her friends who drank, was like, why won't you let Jackie drink? Why don't you let her drink? And I'm like, well, because, she's, it's not that I didn't let her. It was that I get to go home with that. You get to see the fun person. I get to go home to this person who's going to turn into a demon and start ripping me apart because she has issues about her past, which have nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. But because her father did a lot of bad things to her and stuff like that, and I'm the male figure in her life, well, guess who gets the crap? Me. And so this is what I'm telling you is like, I had to deal with that. But I was the bad guy at the parties because, I was the guy telling, kind of, not too happy with her. Yeah, trying to keep her under control so she didn't have one too many drinks where that demon literally took control of her. And you wake up to fists going to your face. You wake up to the the verbal abuse, dude, and the stuff that I had to witness, man. It was just awful. And I'm just like, and it made me less of wanting to drink too. I mean, her actually watching her, do what she did, and believe me, I tried. There's only so much you can tell a person. There's only so much you can. Ultimately, it comes down to them. And then it's so funny because in certain circles and in the way we are, you can actually be labeled as the bad guy for not wanting her to drink. I mean, it depends on if you're around people that just all they want to do is drink.
Party.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just the most. You're just trying to control her. Who are you? You're just some man that that's trying to control a woman. That kind of crap.
Right. They don't see her.
Jesus, dude, it's crazy.
Right.
It's insanity because it's like you guys don't know what it's like to go home to that, but they do.
Did she ever? Yeah. Did she ever straighten out?
Well, we got divorced, so and then so that helped, and then the other thing was helped me anyway, so I'd have to I can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean that could have been a real could have gotten worse.
Yeah, I think she stopped doing it. She ended up getting remarried and having kids and stuff, and I think that helped her. That having kids, and I think so, and I wish her well. Like I don't have any ill will.
That's how I feel about my ex. I hope that she's happy now, but I was not emotionally prepared for that. And she was my first. So I was only 20.
First girl you loved and everything, huh?
Right. Yeah. So it was total emotional breakout.
It hurts. Yeah, first one's always the toughest, for sure, man. Yeah, it is rough. And of course,
And I wonder if the people that have because I always dealt with the severe hangovers too. Oh my gosh, I'd ruin my whole weekend. I would go out.
Your whole next day would be ruined.
My whole rest of my weekend. I'd get off work on Friday, go out with the girls, and I'd be ruined for the whole weekend before I started. And then it's back to work, and that. And then there's other people that never have experienced a hangover ever. So I'm just wondering if there's something even to that little nugget on people that suffer these horrible hangovers, is to give us that push to get away from that stuff because it's no good. It's no good.
The hangovers actually ironic good thing.
Yes.
To
I'll
make
tell you
certain,
what, I've
like
seen
have
people
that
coming off.
sensitivity.
Yeah, I've seen people coming off of every kind of drug, man, known to man, in my lifetime. I've been around enough people, seen them on stuff and coming off of stuff. And alcohol is one of it's one of the most socially accepted ones, but it's honestly one of the hardest. If you are totally addicted to it,
The
an
alcoholics.
alcoholic, you can actually die.
Yeah,
By
they get the
trying to go cold
shakes and
turkey.
all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's very, yeah, the detox from it is horrific, absolutely horrific. And I don't, it's funny because, you know, you think about it a long time ago, they tried to, outlaw this stuff, and of course it didn't work supposedly and all this. But it's weird to me because the most addictive things in this world are some of the
Legal.
most legal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Cigarette,
the mellow
alcohol.
stuff is
Yeah.
not. Oh, I wish I could quit smoking. I did for about 6 months, but my husband smokes, and just being around it, I'm weak on that respect.
Oh,
Alcohol.
it can never happen
See,
unless you both quit.
a lot of people think that they don't need an inpatient, but I mean, you could just go inpatient just for cigarettes alone, and a lot of
Really?
people, never consider that, but because
Oh.
it is so powerful, it's more powerful than
Oh, it is.
it's harder to quit than a lot of stuff, and but you never hear about that, but that you could just go inpatient just to get, because then you're around that kind of encouraging company and the sort of atmosphere that is, you're kind of away from all your familiar objects. And I would suggest that.
But I do love him for the good and the bad because
Yeah.
he treats me well. He's a very sweet man, and I feel very lucky to have him. And
Oh, that's great.
I had a relationship like Dan was talking about. He'd come in drunk, and if one of his friends said, "Oh, I saw your wife out shopping. Oh, she's cute. How'd you get such," or whatever, I wasn't even present. He would come home drunk off his butt and beat the crap out of me in front of my two little
No.
children. So
That's
I had to make
insane.
my escape route to get my children out of there because my fear
Yeah.
was it was going to spill over onto my kids. So
Wow.
it's
you had to go through.
insecurity.
Wow.
It's insecurity with people. This was a long time ago. I've been married
Yeah.
to my husband now for over 18 years. But so I
Yeah.
got my kids out when my son was almost 2 years old. But you have to be strong, and you have to make the choices that are going to be in the best interest. I think I would have stayed at the party longer and endured it if I didn't have children. But since I had my children to look after, that was the driving force that got me the heck away from that. But he did other stuff. I think they call it crystal or meth or crack or I'm not sure.
That's a deal breaker right there. Yeah, that stuff is woo.
Yeah, his
That's a-
paychecks were
Seriously.
gone before he even
Dude.
got home, and I was trying to hold down all the bills, and it was a mess. The whole thing was a nightmare. So, but I made my escape, and I never looked back. It
Good thing.
still broke my heart. Like even bad relationships, your heart still gets broken, even no matter what. But it was the best decision I ever made.
You know how powerful television is? You know how powerful it
Yeah.
really is? I mean, if you
Yeah.
go back into the 90s and you think of like the one with John Travolta and, what was it? The movie with, what was it called?
Oh.
What
Oh.
Sorry,
the one
push
where
buttons.
he's the boy in the bubble.
No, I'm talking about the one where
No.
he's using heroin and what was the one with that? Where he's him and was it gosh, I can't remember the name. Pulp Fiction. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Okay, so if you think about that in the 90s, all right, they glamorized heroin. I mean, heroin of all things, right? And then right after that movie came out, heroin became this new popular drug, like with the kids. It was so
Oh,
weird.
my
No, I kid you not. It became the popular, and you can look it up. Look up the Plano kids in Dallas. There were kids, these rich, affluent kids, were dying every weekend
Oh my
because
god.
they were doing heroin. They were snorting it. Maybe I don't know. Some were shooting it, but most of them were snorting it and dying. And it was like, dude, and in my generation, like I got out at high school in the early '90s, and you know, like by that time, people weren't in. I mean, nobody was doing heroin.
No,
Like no way. Like the most people were doing was
no,
like
it was
maybe you were
considered.
drinking.
It was like it was considered like a suicide drug.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
because
Living
you're
death.
like no, you were really like no, you were shunned. Like if you were doing heroin, you were like, dude, you like ew,
You're so
no.
out of it.
Like, nobody would like you would say socially totally
Right.
unacceptable. Okay.
Did you see
Well,
the
then it
movie
became-
Wonderland?
Well, check this out. This is what I'm trying to say is like there's a correlation, and then Breaking Bad comes out just a few years ago. Even though they show the horrible, like what will happen to your life if you do methamphetamine. What happened? There was a
Same
meth
time.
epidemic. All of a sudden meth was like all popular again, and it's like, come the hell on, man. Once you
I know.
glamorize, I don't care if you show the negative
Right.
side or not. People seem to follow what the television tells us to do, or at least what's
It is,
popular.
and they could be using it in such an opposite way that stimulates intellect and imagination and every interesting field of study that it could be on there, and it's not used in that way. And I mean, we were outraged about it, even like in 8th grade. Everybody I knew was like, "Wow, why is television so?"
And that
Yeah.
movie Wonderland is a true story,
Mhm.
and it was from the 70s. And yeah, what was his name? It was a porn star, Johnny Watt, or I think it was the name that he went by. But anyways, these mass murder, most grisly murder, worse than the Tate crimes, happened. And this was back in the 70s. And it circled all around heroin and cocaine and marijuana and all kinds of drugs. And to me, it seemed like that movie kind of glamorized it, but then at the same time showed the risks of it. But these
Right.
people were living the life by selling this stuff to people. I mean, they had anything and everything they wanted. And they made that's the part that is the problem, is that they show that
Right,
you can get rich quick off of this kind of stuff, and then they end up using this stuff, and then they end up having a huge problem with it.
You know the movie Point Break?
Yes.
All right, so that's that's kind of weird, but I mean, I actually knew friends who emulated that movie in some degree. Like, and
Adrenaline junkies.
I say friends loosely, only because they were acquaintances that I knew in high school and stuff like that. Didn't really hang around them, but I knew another guy that did, and so I was sort of, in a roundabout way, I kind of knew him, and I heard the stories from my friend, and these guys were living in Austin, and they were going to school down there, so I'd go down there and visit, and see my buddy, and he was hanging with these guys, and next thing you know, they're getting ready to go on a snowboarding trip to Colorado, and they have brand new snowboards, and they have all this gear, and I'm like, dude, how'd you guys get all that? And my friend was like, shh, don't say no, I'll tell you later. And I was like, so they were living like this Point Break lifestyle, man. Like in the movie Point Break, they were robbing banks so that they could do all this fun crap, right? Well, these dudes, like, yeah, they were pulling jobs. They were actually robbing stores and stuff. They had ways of doing it. They would scope out a store. No, I'm not lying. They would be in and out in a second. They would steal gear, sell gear. They were like, they would make money to go on their trips and stuff like that. It's like, dude, this is Point Break. Like, holy crap. Like, you guys are insane. Yeah, like they were doing it. They would use
Wonder what motivated them.
what motivated them? Well,
The
that's what I'm
movie.
telling you. Yeah, the movies, and also, like, it was kind of growing up in sort of the Jackass era too. So they were doing like Jackass kind of stuff.
Yep.
They were young and kind of emulating that. Went out with them one night, and I mean, holy crap! I mean, the shenanigans that they got involved in. I was the driver. Unfortunately, I was just driving along, hanging with these guys. But like, I never did it again after that. Like, it was like seriously, we got chased by the cops, and
Yeah.
I can't even I can't even tell you what we got in trouble with, but it was like it wasn't really bad stuff, but it was jackass kind of related sort of stuff where, like, if we had gotten caught, we'd have been in big trouble. Like they were just crazy. They were insane, and like it was just funny. Like I just thought about like, man, y'all are just, and it's really is funny because it's sort of a mob mentality sort of thing where one guy is the sort of leader and he comes and nobody's willing to say, dude, that's just maybe we shouldn't do this. Like this isn't really good. It's sort of just
Right.
it
They're
became
intimidated by his kind of.
yeah. Yeah,
By his
it's
kind
like,
of
well, then they all come up with
intense-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all come up with stuff, but they don't like keep each other in check. Instead, they're like,
Right.
let's see who can come up with a better idea that's even crazier. I mean, dude, I'm talking
Yeah.
about like seriously crazy shit, guys. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm almost afraid to even say some of it because like saying some of it now is like would be so illegal in some senses, like at the time it didn't seem so bad. All right, so you blew up a trash can with a giant firecracker. Well, yeah, but if that went off today, that's almost like almost like get a terror charge put on you. Like back in those days, it was just funny. There wasn't any terror kind of stuff. But like,
Yeah.
like what when you make a when you watch them literally make a homemade firecracker that blows up a metal trash can, you're like, okay. I mean, the explosion from that, I mean, seriously could have hurt somebody. I'm surprised they didn't get in trouble. Like, I'm surprised they didn't really do anything stupid, but they were pretty cautious. They weren't trying to hurt anybody. They were always just trying
Yeah.
to do shenanigans and stuff.
They just
And,
didn't have a Keanu Reeves in there watching them.
they didn't have any sense, really. I mean, like, it was all adrenaline for them. I mean, from everything,
Yeah.
from anything they could do to
I
sort of
remember
to
kids
shake,
like that.
anything they could do to sort of shake the the norm of what was socially acceptable. They did it, and like I remember one time, like they had some crazy ideas. One of them was a dry ice, putting dry ice in a bottle. I didn't know that could make. Literally, that shook the house. I mean, seriously, like if that felt like a bomb went off. They put it in a sewer drain,
Oh my
okay, and
gosh.
it went off. I'm telling you, it shook the house. I couldn't believe how powerful that was, man. Like, maybe the old 2-liter bottles are thicker. I don't know, but they did some crazy stuff, and it was like, oh my gosh. Now I saw a lot of this on YouTube, but still, like they were doing it. I would almost say they were doing it. Some of the stuff was even pre-Jackass kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like they could have
I
been
wouldn't
the
trust
original
that
guy.
sewer system anymore. You know
What's
it
that?
cracked and put a hole somewhere down there.
What's
Hopefully
that?
not under your house. Pouring dry ice underneath into a sewer drain. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it blew up.
Well, they put it in a 2-liter bottle, and when it went off, because
like
the
a
sewer
bomb.
drain, yeah, it's like a noisemaker more or less than anything. It's like I mean, guys have like I guess it could hurt you if the plastic got in your eye or something. But I mean, it's definitely not something you want to do without you
No.
wouldn't want to be near it. But like,
Uh-uh.
but
And I don't
people
want
do
it
it
to be
all
in
the
front
time
of
on
my
YouTube and
house.
stuff. Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, like when it went off in this neighborhood, it had a very like muffled sort of sound, and it really shook the place. And I was thinking, golly, you know what's funny? No cops were called. Nothing like that. Like I was shocked, man, because it sounded like a gunshot or something exploded. And at that time, people weren't, it was just just kids being kids or something, But that's the kind of stuff they did. They were always out to sort of, they even made the news with some of their antics. They made the news. I'm not gonna lie, but it was somewhat. They were crazy and they did some stuff that would be considered very destructive, and they made the news in Austin. So like they were out, and they got a rush from all that stuff. And I knew hanging around these guys. And by the way, a few of them did get arrested eventually, and did end up having to serve some time. Because I mean, it kept getting worse and worse. It all started out innocently enough with little this, little that, but nobody was ever
Innocently
going. You know what? Maybe we're going too far. Maybe we're just
Right.
taking this to the next level where this could get us in trouble. And that's
I know kids
eventually,
like that. In
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah, well, what got one kid in
I
trouble
wasn't
was,
around. I was more into art. I was
yeah,
more tame. I wasn't really that
sure.
wild, but I loved
Oh,
playing drums. I was in a band, and that was a lot of fun. But
sure.
I wasn't even into shoplifting or nothing like that. I
Oh,
didn't want
this is what I'm talking about. Like once you
to,
start doing this stuff and it's sort of
yeah.
like I said, adrenaline is a drug too. And I think what got one or two of the guys in trouble was they thought it'd be cute to they actually stole a car. They actually stole a car. They stole a car and then they got caught. And that's what happened. They got busted.
Yeah.
I heard about all this later. I'm like, oh my God. So, it's just, one guy got kicked out of school. Dude, you just lost your college education. He had it paid
Oh,
off too because he was a former military.
well,
Go figure. He was former Marine. And,
usually military straightens out that kind of
oh,
troublesome, like get in
dude, like,
trouble kind of
yeah, he was
treat.
crazy. Like, this guy was crazy. Like, he actually joined the Marines just almost on a dare. He's like, man, they were like he was like, I can go be a Marine. It's not that
And
hard.
how long did he stay in?
He stayed in the full term.
Just he went for 4 years.
Yeah. Go
Ah,
4-1.
wow.
Sure did. Yep, go 4-1.
Huh.
He was in. And in fact, and that's the thing is like the dude like did his time. He got out and apparently he was he got injured. He got injured. That's what happened. And then I don't know if he was on drugs or something. I don't know what happened over there. But the thing is like I just know that I always knew he was a little crazy. He was a little nuts, But man,
Yeah.
he went to college and they oh my gosh, those guys, I could just tell you the stories, man. Some of the stuff they came up with, but I unfortunately I know too much. It's just like it's like I would tell you the stories off air and just tell you what happened because it's just like it's too much to tell people. People would just be like just appalled at what happened. It's like, well, at that time, like I said, no one ever got hurt. No one was ever physically injured or anything like that. It was mostly just hijinks and a lot of crazy antics. But then they did move up and they get more serious when they stole cars and stuff. And like I said, they were looking to do this crazy Point Break sort of lifestyle. They were living it. So
That's nuts. And
I know.
on that note, Dan, you kept me on here for 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Look,
Yeah.
you're in California.
Like,
I don't want to hear
it's
it.
all in you guys.
He's like,
I don't want to hear it, Pacifica. You're 2 hours earlier than I am, so you're only like what time is it there? It's
I
1
know,
here, so
but
what? About 11 there. That's not even 11.
you know that
You're,
I have a sitting in one place issue.
Oh, do you?
Oh yes, I talked to you about it earlier when we were offline. I'll remind you when we get off here, so that way you know.
All right.
Well, I usually try to keep
Well,
about
you know
an
what? That's
hour.
fine. That's fine. I'm sorry I kept you on for more than an hour.
Oh no, this has been
Yeah.
awesome. I mean,
Well, cool.
you actually got some people to come in and listen, and I did
Yeah.
push it off, and had some technical difficulties, and I appreciate the conversation.
And I just wanted to say the things like before the Mandela, like in the topic for tonight is
The top 3.
things that happened 2012 to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I was having some weird anxiety, like irrational anxiety, which I'd never had before. And I was wondering if you guys had that before you noticed Mandela. Like,
I
were you having
actually, yeah,
anxiety, like a strange
I had
nervous, like a panic for no reason. Like you
I
could
had
be
a
just sitting
panic
there,
attack one
and
time,
then
dude,
wham!
that literally sent me to the
Yeah.
hospital. I'm not kidding you. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna
having that
die.
in
I thought I was
2015,
gonna
yeah.
die. But
I
it was
know
like
what you mean. It was
it
like
wasn't-
something like
was
came over you, and you just felt like, whoa.
I was driving to work, and
Uh-huh.
it was before I had the shop, and it was before I was doing the solo thing. I was working for a engineering outfit, Japanese engineering outfit, and I was going to work, and I just had like this attack. Like I was like, oh my god, Yeah,
That's
and
what
I
happened to
got
me.
there and I thought I was all clammy, and I just was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I felt like I thought I was about to have a heart attack or something. I didn't know what
Yeah.
the hell was going on. They checked me out. They said everything was fine, and then I
What
think
about
just
Michelle? Did she
you know,
have anything like that?
It was
Michelle?
in 2001 is when I started having these
Oh.
dreams and visions. But in
Uh-huh.
2012, and they gave me a pill. They're
Yeah.
here. You're having night terrors. Okay. In
Yeah.
2012, I had what you. I mean, it was intense. It was very intense, and there really wasn't a lot of people talking about this stuff back then. And so I didn't
No.
know what the heck was going on, and it's an isolated feeling, and yeah,
Yeah.
it came across as an anxiety, confused.
Yeah.
Like I said, I
The
felt
word that I use for it.
I felt upside down, and the world was upside down and inverted. Everything that I thought that I knew seemed backwards.
Yeah.
That I can't explain the feeling more than that. But it was intense. It was very intense. And then I started seeing all
Yeah.
these things that were different than how I remembered. I started feeling like I was lifting off the ground here, like I did not belong here, and I felt all I wanted to do was go home. And I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I was home, and that gave me anxiety. So, but it does
I
go
can
away.
relate, and I've been in. I haven't even been in my home city, so I've felt the same. I felt homesick, like stranded in this strange town, and I'm
Mhm.
used to being in Milwaukee, and I'm here in Madison, and it's just really hard to to make, because I just know all these people there, and I did make some attempts to move back, and then just financially, just it's like. But that's a whole other story. But thanks
You know
you guys
what?
for chatting.
I'll tell you
that's
what,
really,
Pri. No matter where I went to, whether it be my mom's house or any place that I would think that I would feel comfortable, I still had the same feeling that I was not
Yeah.
home. These are not my
Yeah.
people. This is not my family. Nothing felt right.
Yeah.
But it does go away. It does go away when we get ourselves
Well, I'm glad
grounded
you
and
guys are there for everybody else that's watching too. Like we're all. I'm glad that there's all people that are going through what we're going through in our own different ways.
individually and then collectively.
Individually,
Yeah,
And
everybody
collectively.
has their individual path. We're not all going to remember things
Yeah.
exactly the same, but
Yeah.
talking about it, if I could have found someone on YouTube back in 2012 talking about this stuff, it really would have helped me not spin around so much, and that's how I felt. It's like I just, I was trying to figure out, where am I? What is this place? I don't feel like I'm home. Something happened. So, and then these channels started popping up, and I was so grateful. I was so grateful that some people started talking about these anomalies that we were all going through. They were all a little different, but there was enough synchronicity in there for me to feel not alone, and that was what I needed. And when I needed that, that was presented to me. So, and that's why I have a lot of
Wow.
gratitude for channels like Scarabs and Life Matrix, and a lot of these channels that I followed for years before I even decided to open my mouth, on anything. I'm camera shy, and had to overcome a lot of things before I even stepped out into this arena. But
I'm camera shy too. That's kind of what's prevented me from making videos, is because of the same thing. But I'm glad you are, and you're doing a great job. Your channel is great, and Dan's channel is great.
thank
So you
you.
guys
Thanks,
have
man.
conquered, you've gotten over any kind of inhibited thing that would, prevent you from just going all out.
Now I've run out of chewing gum, so I'm just kicking butt.
I found it. I found the article I was telling you about the Ice Age beasts. not a horse. We don't even know what it is.
It's a beast.
It's to be
A beast.
cloned by Russian scientists.
Oh, perfect. You ever seen?
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that.
You ever seen
to Dan.
Cloverfield? You ever seen Cloverfield?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what we're gonna do with ourselves. We're gonna clone something. Come out of water. we are gonna be effed, man. I'm just telling you.
We're gonna clone ourselves.
We're
through
gonna do ourselves in.
informations.
I'm just telling you. We're just yeah. We're gonna do something.
Well, you know, when that China turns on, that's coming up, and I don't know. Could be.
You know what's funny about that is
don't know.
why in the hell the Chinese would want to even build something like that.
What
What is the
right,
purpose?
What's the point? What's
The sun
purpose?
point?
simulator?
Right. Like just so that we could say we did it.
Wait. Are you talking about the sun simulator?
No, that the CERN.
The CERN machine that they're building.
Oh.
10 times bigger. It's 10 times.
Because they are
bigger
building
and
a sun
more
simulator
powerful.
and a moon simulator.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
But the sun simulator has nothing to do with something they're going to throw up into orbit. The moon one is going to take away the need for streetlights for a 36-mile area. So they're going to put one up
Come
there, and then if something happens, like a catastrophe, they're going to be able to remote control move this thing over.
If something shows up there, it ain't put up there by us. Okay? I mean, just number
Now,
one.
this is what the Chinese are doing. This is what they reported.
They always blame the Chinese for everything, you know?
Of course. But the
It's-
sun simulator thing that they have is like this big machine-like thing, and it's going to produce free energy. So,
Oh, right.
well,
Oh, give me a break.
you
That
need to
cannot
look-
be good.
you need to look into it. Look into the
Yeah,
article. It actually sounds pretty good. It's been something that
How's it gonna stay? How's it gonna stay in
Yeah.
orbit?
How is it going to stay in a
Stay
one
up
place
there.
without?
No, it's not
Sure.
going in the air. The sun
Where's it gonna go?
simulator, they've taken years and years to build because of what this,
Oh.
whatever this little, it's a little like marble sized, I don't know, cold fusion type thing. And what they had to build that, to spec is the container because it runs so hot. So it's got
Are you
like
talking
a walk
about
around.
the tokamak?
They called it a sun simulator for us dumb Americans. So that's how I.
Well,
think
I've
of it.
heard Richie from Boston mention a sun simulator and this patent supposedly on this thing that, looks like it can simulate the sun and supposedly,
the
that's
sun's
what he believes.
energy. The
He
sun's-
believes that is up there now and it's actually.
Oh God,
the sun.
no!
He thinks it's that. That's why our sun is white.
No. Our
I'm
sun
telling
is
you.
white because we've been Mandela.
We've been Mandela.
That's all.
That could be it too. I like I said, I don't. My problem is how do you keep something floating around on the same orbit, like in the sky, like simulating the sun.
Yeah,
I just-
without
yeah.
gravity or without falling out
Yeah.
of it.
Without having to replace the
like
bulb,
bumping
maybe
into
even.
other satellites or
Yeah.
anything.
I'll send you the
go
article
way out.
on that sun simulator, so that way maybe you can tell some truth out there, Dan, and
Yeah,
to
I'll have to
remove
read
some
that.
and to remove the fear from people because if they're thinking they're going to be launching some fireball up into the sky. What? Nobody sees
what I
any
saw?
danger, Will Robinson? I mean,
I don't trust anything about them launching anything in the air. Like, first off, I watched another SpaceX launch at like 3 a.m. It was a live stream, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta get on here. Let me watch this bunch of bull. And I'm watching it, and it's so funny because, like, it's just like all these they must have bots like crazy. Everybody's like, oh yay, it's like only a few real people even watching the live stream. And like everyone's like, yay, NASA, go. Ooh, like it's all
NASA? I thought you
SpaceX.
said it was SpaceX.
It is SpaceX, but that's what
Oh.
I'm saying. The bots don't know. Anyway, so the point is, I'm watching this thing, and like here goes. Here's the countdown: 5, 4, 3, and at 3 they cut to commercial. Like download
Of course.
the latest app or something. I'm like, oh, You guys are so cheesy.
And
You
then
won't
I
even
think
let us
what they
see the real
do
launch.
is they cut it back and then just do it in reverse. They play
Oh
the
my
video
God!
back
Don't get
in
me started.
reverse.
Oh yeah, the rockets. You mean
They land on
the flying phallus symbols that land on them?
land exactly where they're supposed
It's
to.
so bull. It's such bull crap. I'm like, whatever, dude. You people really believe this?
I can
Like,
play a video forward
oh
and
my
backward
God.
too. I can throw something in the air, and then
Yeah,
you'll
good luck.
magically watch it back, go right back into my hand.
It's not a lawn dart, people. Like, give me a break. It is so bullcrap.
If
Like,
you
this thing
look
could
at
land.
the
Whatever.
flares,
I'm
it's
just
the
like,
same as the blast off.
and the best are the people that work for SpaceX. Those are the best. These actors they hire to sit there and give you all give you the telemetry data and everything. Is like, you guys are the biggest shills, and you can tell the guy's just reading a script. I mean, he's so bad.
They're
He's so
so
bad. You can tell he's reading the
compartmentalized,
prompter.
though. Maybe they don't even know.
Oh God, they're just terrible. And then all the people that stand there and cheer, like, dude, it's just a rocket. Get over yourselves. Like, we did this back in the '60s. Whatever. It's like you're not doing anything new.
Rocket
Stop it. Just
Man.
get over yourselves
No,
with all your. Oh my God, yay! We launched a rocket. It's like,
and look,
oh my God.
it's landing itself in the same spot
Oh
where
yeah.
it took off
Oh yeah,
from.
yeah. It lands itself on a barge in the sea that's rocking around. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
But you can
Like-
tell that
like
it's
a 1960s Japanese
played backwards.
sci-fi, like the exaggerated quality of it.
Oh, it's just
it's
just
movie
the
quality,
worst.
dude. It's Star Wars
It's just
quality.
the worst. I'm just like, you guys are so full of it. I don't know what the hell to think, but they want you to believe that they're going to the moon and they're going to Mars. Whatever. Yeah, you ain't going to Mars. You're going to Greenland. That's where you're going. That's about the best
You're
gonna-
going to Antarctica, where you won't
Antarctica,
let us
yeah,
go.
well, probably. Somewhere. I think like if they did it, they would just like drug people and then send them over there. I've always had a crazy theory. This is one conspiracy theory. My theory is that they launch these rockets from Florida, right? They launch rockets and their payload drops to Antarctica or somewhere else, some other. I think they think of it like, sending over like a FedEx rocket because the things aren't going into space. If you look at the time lapse, they're just going in an arc. I mean, they're not really, they don't look like they're going that high. They just arc over and then they're
Turn around,
gone.
come back.
Like they come down. And I'm thinking like that would be a perfect way to send supplies and things to Antarctica. Just mask it as a NASA rocket launch.
Drop it as a parachute drop.
Yeah, and drop it in the sea, and then a boat retrieves it. That's how think about it. I mean, it makes sense
is
to
there
me.
part of you that wants to believe it? Like, oh, I wish.
Yeah, I do, man.
were
But then I
doing
go back and I
I
watch
wish
that. Well, I want to believe
that
it.
it becomes
But-
unbelievable at some point because
here's what I do. Anytime I need to check myself and I need to remember that this is all bull, I go back and watch the news conference with Neil and Buzz and the guys, giving a little press conference after they went to the quote unquote moon.
And they all
And just
looked
look at
so
their faces.
disappointed.
Oh, look at
They
their
were
faces.
so disappointed.
Come on.
They
You just
really
got back
thought
from the
they were
moon.
going to
I
the
mean,
moon.
that was like one of the fantastic things about being a kid in the 70s was all that weird space because that gave everyone a sense of
Yeah.
what are they going to find
It
next?
gives us a
Or,
sense of
what's the
freedom
next
because
thing?
we didn't feel like we were. And like I said, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's flat or anything like that. I don't know. All I can tell you is that it certainly doesn't seem like what they say. And whatever's up there, whatever all this is, it's definitely not what we think. Okay, and it's definitely not what science is telling us. And I'm sorry, it just isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm questioning everything now since the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like nothing is, too off the table. I'm
Well,
baffled.
I am too. I'm baffled at the fact that, I've been told, all those things up there are stars in the sky, and as a person with a pretty good understanding of astronomy, I'm kind of shocked that when I was in a plane and I got up high enough, I couldn't see any. There are no stars in the sky. When you get in an airplane, you're at 45,000 feet. What happened to the stars?
Where did
I
they
am
go?
above. I'm above all the lights. I'm above all the clouds. I'm above all the
Above the
atmosphere.
clouds,
You should
That's
see
right.
stars like
you see
I could.
stars.
Oh was so excited. I couldn't wait to. I look out the window and there's nothing except maybe moonlight.
Wow.
I'm like, where did the stars go? And I got to tell you, I don't think those stars are that far. They're in the atmosphere, but they're not. I don't know how to describe it,
Yeah,
guys.
but
It's
on a
weird.
mount, on the top of a mountain, you can see stars. Aren't you afraid
Yes.
that you can grab one?
Well, I mean,
saying
when
they're
you're up
prop-
there, well, you can see them clear. Definitely up in a mountain. Yeah. Yeah. It's just that, like I'm saying, in a plane, when you're above everything,
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, look out there. Tell me when you've seen a star. Tell me when you've seen. You don't
Yeah.
see them. It's blackness. The blackness of space, man. It's the weirdest thing.
You
I'm like,
entered the
okay,
void.
where did all the starlight go? You know what they tell you? They say, well, the light that lights up the window, it blocks it blocks you from seeing anything. But they have the cabin lights turned off, so all you have is that little window light. I know it's bright, but like right now on certain nights, I'm in a totally lit room. I can look
Mhm.
at the window in my totally lit room, okay, and
Yeah.
see stars in the sky. The brighter
Ah.
ones. So think about that. Like I can look right out my window
Where-
right now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So why the hell
Glare
wouldn't I be able to
shouldn't
see them in a
block
plane?
out the stuff. Right.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
It's just
Doesn't make
crazy.
any sense.
Nothing makes
It
sense
should-
here in this world.
You should see so many stars. It should be ridiculous. And I couldn't wait. I thought I was going to see like the Milky Way. I thought I was going to see all this stuff. Man, please. You don't see nothing.
Double sun. These sun, like people from airplane view, seeing these glowing orange, in the clouds while they're looking down at it. You might have seen this video. They're looking. There's two suns. The one is like on the level of the plane, though. and
Oh, you're talking about the
it's-
one with the level of the plane? Wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Oh, that freaks me out. That video, I'm just like, I can't
That is
believe
a
what I'm
big
seeing.
one.
It literally looks like they're flying around the sun. I shit you
It
not.
does. It does.
Oh my God,
That
it's
is-
so weird.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, surely that can't be the sun. Really?
No,
Like,
it
oh.
can't be. What is that?
It's got to be some. I don't know. I don't know, dude. But I know what you're saying. It looks right there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, is that just am I just seeing that because that's what it looks like perspectively? If you're in an airplane, I don't know. But man, they point right down at it. I'm thinking to myself, why haven't more people done that? Just fly toward the sun and just see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they did it, and why was it in the clouds like that? But that's weird because it doesn't make sense when you see all these. I have a picture of the sun going into the clouds, and it literally looks like it's going into an envelope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when it was,
I saw that picture. Yeah.
and I'm
Where
telling you,
where it's got clouds behind it,
Yes.
coming around, like
Yes.
like it's being encircled.
it's freaking me out, man. It's like, okay, dude,
Yeah.
that doesn't. I mean, let's be honest. Like, that does not look like a sun. It's like, whatever, 93 million miles away or something like that. It just does not look like that.
You
it's
guys,
just weird.
if you guys want to continue the conversation, if you'll just give me a minute, I'm gonna close up the live stream.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I think we summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, we're just talking now.
Yeah.
We should probably roll. I should get going too,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Yeah.
So well,
Yeah.
you know what,
Michelle.
and you call anytime. I mean, it's good to hear your voice. You know, it's nice.
Yeah,
And
good to
Dan,
hear
you
from you, Dan.
you
Good to hear from
chill,
you too, man.
but
Okay.
be muted for a second. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Actually,
I'm gonna roll. So I just want to say thank you and great show, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Do
All
you
right,
have a,
man.
do you have
Take
a
care, Bruno.
channel?
Okay.
Do you have
All
a
right.
channel?
Okay. Nice. Bye.
Bree, does he have a channel? Well, does he?
Boom.
We need to
I
get
don't
anybody-
think I
the
don't think
whole-
he does, but we can check real quick. 1 second.
The whole purpose is that anybody that's below 1,000 to
Right.
get them to 1,000. So if you know
Well,
anybody
hell,
that's
Criminal.
channel,
Yeah, he has a channel and he has 1.4 thousand subs. I mean, come on.
Ooh,
This
he's
guy
doing
he's rocking it.
good.
Man,
Nice.
he just put out a video 2 days ago, Galaxies in Space.
I'm
He's
I am subscribed to him. Why am I not getting? I'm gonna have to check.
Well,
they mess with our notifications.
you know,
This crap
YouTube,
all the
man.
time. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
We're gonna hang up on this one, and I'll meet you in Hangouts in just a minute. Let me.
All right, sounds
let me
good.
roll out. Okay.
All right.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of new postings, premieres, and live shows. If you'd like to sponsor the channel, the links are below. I have both Patreon and PayPal. And thank you, channel supporters. Without your support to keep things going, I don't know where I would be. It's people like you and your generosity that helps the work improve and for us to be able to grow. Thank you.